just a bloke in a bar.
All right, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Bloke in a Bar, proudly brought to you by Grumpy Coffee. Our biggest sale ever. It ends in the next 48 hours. It ends. So make sure to go to grumpycoffee.com.au, get 25% off a kilo bags of coffee. And also, we've got a package of pods. I think it's 3. You get 25% of that off also. It's been our biggest week ever, guys. Absolutely, so grateful for all the support, guys. Literally bigger than even our launch. It's been absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for all the support. But yeah, the amount of messages I get with people saying they love the coffee, it's, I get quite a lot. So the sale's going to end soon, guys. Grumpycoffee.com.au. Stock up now. Get it at this price so you can have it for a while. Grumpycoffee.com.au. Root, the whole team's back, actually, boys. The whole team's back. It feels good. It feels good. It feels good.
Assemble.
Feels good. Feels comfortable. Root, how you going, mate?
Felt like the origin period the last few weeks.
Yeah, we pushed through and we unearthed some stars. We unearthed some stars that have got a big future. Yeah, but it was very Baby Broncos-esque. Are they going to be a team, or is that like... No.
I'm still open.
Okay, have you got any messages or no?
I've had a few, actually. I've had a few.
Okay.
So I'll keep you in the loop. I was down in Melbourne last week. Me and Hammy caught up on Friday night.
Okay.
A couple of Matty Sears. Good little night out.
John Deers, eh?
The boys were getting together in Thailand.
Mickey DeVeers.
You should have come and joined us somewhere.
Timmy, how you going, mate?
I'm very well, mate. I'm fresh off a week playing golf with the boys in Thailand.
Oh, wow. Tough life.
Yeah, it's as good as it gets.
Yep.
Hey, you know why he was away playing golf?
What was that?
We've got the Jack tournament next week.
Oh, preparing.
I'm the reigning champion.
Oh, okay.
But unfortunately, he's been put on my team.
Yeah.
Oh, really? So that's a good thing.
If we lose, it's his fault.
Okay.
It's just me continuing my form.
Okay.
Yeah, how'd you get him on?
Yeah, look, I'm meant to be the golfer of our group at the Jack. We are in strife. It's the only sport I've ever played in my entire life where I genuinely get worse the more I play it. It's remarkable, and there'd be a lot of people out there who I'm sure could sympathise. To put it in rugby league terms, my technique is so bad. If Tiger Woods has the perfect golfing swing, he'd be like the Hammers running style in rugby league. My golf swing, comparable to rugby league running, is Jason Nightingale. It is just all.
But he gets the job done, though. That's the only bad thing.
Look, you can have an ugly swing and be good at golf.
Okay.
So that is unfair to Nightingale.
Gypsy, the great Gypsy.
It's a tough sport.
Not made of the right stuff, mate.
No, I'm not.
Our 3-man team next week is me, him, and Roasty.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And we get lobbed with a junior pro as well. So we're banking on having a bloody good junior
A CBA carrying us.
Okay. The great Hamiso. How you going, mate?
Yeah, Roasty's been hitting them often. I've seen he's been out there on the course. So, are you going to tax deduct that trip? Now you played a bit of golf there and you're coming back for a golf tournament?
I hadn't actually considered that
You're
I'm
welcome.
coming back for a work-related golf event.
Yeah.
So, yes,
Training.
Thank you, Hammy.
Pre-season. Yeah, pre-season.
Madge training him too hard. No, I'm good. Rue and I had a little pre-season camp down in Melbourne over the weekend as well. Just happened to be there at the same time. So good to catch up with Rue. And then we had a big night, the Dream Catchers out at Sandown Racetrack, the Greyhounds on Saturday night. So I was out there with a few of the grubs and with Gorringe as well.
Yep.
Good night had by all. We had a lady spin a big wheel for $1 million. She missed it by like 3 clicks.
Oh, my God.
She still walked out of there with 10K though. Sharon, if you're watching,
Shazza.
hope you're spending it wisely.
Yeah, of course.
But she was a real people's champ out there, Sharon.
Wow, Shazza. Look, I will say, saw some cricket content. Very interesting that you didn't invite Australia's biggest cricket content creator. It's a choice.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a good one, but it's definitely a choice.
I was trying to build a bit of anticipation, sort of find our feet a bit before we bring the big dog in a little bit later in the summer.
Okay, you don't want me to roll the shoulders over, mate. That's what you don't want.
Yeah, that's right. So, but plenty of it out there. Yeah, Grubby Ball came out the other week, the little Moneyball parody. Go and check that one out.
Yep.
And we've just shot a stack. So it's almost going to be just about every day from the end of this week until the end of the year. There'll be local cricket grubs content coming out. So
Imagine going to the dishes and coming home with $1 million.
Oh, bro. Wow.
There's some very nervous kind of, people that worked at the track there watching it click around, sweating NutriBullets out there.
Oh, that's good stuff. Okay, let's face a bit of music. Brought to you by our friends over at Sportsbet. Give us a follow on the feed. Got some some good stuff to come. Obviously, we've got the Ashes this week.
We do.
Got the F1. Can you get around the F1 on
Of course you can get around the F1.
Of course you can.
Yeah.
So.
Lando's the favourite, about $1.28. I think Maxi's there at about $4, and our Oscar $13. Yep. They're all still in the hunt as they head to Abu Dhabi, I think, next week.
Okay.
But of course, you can get around the F1 for sure.
Yep, get around it. And as always, gamble responsibly, guys. Only what you can afford, of course.
Yeah.
Hammy, how you going, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. We're going to dive into this. We obviously had a look at the results from the first test. The only person to hit the frame was Timmy. He had Mitch Starc for most wickets, 375 there. Well done, Timmy. A couple of notable markets, though, that were pretty popular with some of the punters in the first test. What day will the test match finish? Now, obviously, it finished day 2. There's an option there, day 1 or 2. It was paying $76 in the first test. 208 punters had it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Obviously, pink ball up in Brisbane. You'd expect it to be a pretty quick finish up there as well. Day 1 or 2 will get you $14 this time. The market's corrected a bit. Or a day 3 finish. They've kind of broken it into the sessions because they're expecting it to kind of move pretty fast. But well worth checking that market out. That's a pretty fun one to follow. I want to get, though, of course, your top run scorer first innings, your top wicket taker first innings as well. And I also want to get a little bit of clarity on what we've got on the line. Obviously, Rue put up the fact that he's going to shave his head. I think he wanted to take you on in the top run scorer for the series market.
Shave his Travis head.
Yeah, that's right. He's going to shave his Travis.
Yep.
Have you come to the party there? Are you happy to...
Listen, this is what I want to put on the line.
Yep.
This is what I want to put on the line. And I think this is very fair. It's very reasonable.
Yep.
Okay, so in exchange for you shaving your head, if I lose, and I'm going to pick Travis' head...
$3 favourite.
$3 favourite.
Shock me.
Yeah, well, listen, sometimes you just got to pick the winner so you don't have to friggin' have photos all the time with your newborn child with blonde hair, okay? I'm going to put forward a fake tan. If I lose, I will go and get a full-on fake tan for a Monday show. And that's as much as I'm going. There's no negotiation. This is not a back and forth. That's the first and final offer, Rube. Do you take it?
I accept. I'll
You
take
accept?
that. But I want like a proper fake tan.
Yeah, look, I'm already a bit bronze myself, so don't worry. We'll go all the way. We'll go all the way.
Fake tan and no negotiation. Very Donald Trump-esque. Donald Kemp. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs.
Jaina.
I really want you to lose now, so you've got to do a full episode in character.
Talk like that the whole time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're taking Travis Head, are you?
I'll take Travis Head.
Hammy, can you? What's the market there? Who else?
Steve Smith $6. Harry Brooks $7 for England. Marnus $8 as well. As we move down the list there, Cam Green $21. Jake Weatherald at the top of the order $26.
It's got to be Steve Smith, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's probably the challenge. Isn't he?
Yeah, Steve Smith for me.
$6. All right. So, and if either of those aren't the top run scorer, we're just taking whoever got more.
Yep.
Is that what we're going? All right. I like it. Giddy up.
So you've got about a 100-run start at the moment.
Well, not really.
Yeah, about that.
That could have been the form game he had. Like, there could be possibilities that because he's done that, he's less likely to do it again.
You might put the feet up.
Sure.
Yeah. Looking forward to that. I like it, boys. We'll get into this one, though. I want to get, obviously, the result for the game. Australia $1.49. The draw, $12.50, barring some sort of biblical weather event. I can't see a draw happening up in Brisbane. And England, $2.95, which seems a little bit too short to me. So I want to get your result for the game, your top run scorer first innings, and, of course, your top wicket taker first innings as well.
Okay. I'm going to go Australia 13 plus.
Yep.
I'm going to go top wicket taker. Oh, geez. It's hard to go past Starc. He was so dominant. So much
The
testosterone.
pink ball king as well.
Look, I'll just go Starc.
Yeah.
Look, I'll just go Starc.
$2.15
And-
for Starkey. And your run scorer, you're going to go all in on...
Yeah, Travis Head again, just to bash that ball around.
He's
Sound
fine.
like pumpkins, mate.
He's $5, Travis Head.
Yeah, okay.
Still don't know exactly where he'll bat, but I'm sure we'll get to that probably in the Code Sports segment as well. But $5 for Travis Head. Rue, over to you.
Give me Australia.
Yep.
Give me Starc.
$2.15, yep.
Give me Steve Smith.
$4.10 for Steve Smith. Nice.
Australia, Smith, Boland.
Smith, $4.10. Scotty Boland, we'll get you $3.25. Matty?
I don't even like to say it. It's Australia start minus.
Yeah, okay, Australia, yep. Start Marnus will get you $5.60. I'm going to go Marnus as well, $5.60.
Okay.
I'm going to go Brendan Doggett. He obviously came through playing up in Queensland. $4.60 for him for the top wicket taker first innings.
Okay.
Obviously Australia as well. I would love to see. There's a bit of chat about Michael Neese getting a run. We'll have to wait and see. He's also $4.60. But I think Doggett would be pretty stiff to miss from there. So anyway, all kicks off on Thursday. Australia go 2-0 up, you'd imagine.
Hope so.
Bring on the 5-0.
Bring on the 5-0. Wow. Could you imagine getting spanked 5-0? When one of your Stuart Broad come out and said that you were the worst team since 2010?
So funny.
You know what's funny? It's like, I know that comment has riled us all up, and it's good. But I think he's hilarious, Stuart Broad.
He's good.
I think he's funny.
I really wanted to dislike him, given all of the pantomime during his career. But he's funny. He's lent into the kind of villain kind of thing. He's got great analysis.
And he looks literally like, if you could cast someone as like an evil Englishman, he looks exactly like that.
Yep.
It's incredible how different you see them once they retire, isn't it? They're not like battering us or getting battered, but it's just a different light.
Mate, that meme of him going...
when Joe Root gets out.
So good. Yeah. So good.
Just on Joe Root, no centuries for the series. $1.83 now. It's odds on. So
confirmed.
Yeah. Lol. Very funny stuff.
Okay, that's Basic Music, brought to you by Sportsbet. As always, only bet what you can afford, guys. Gamble responsibly. And stay tuned for. We won't do more tips at the end because
that's it. We've got them all in there.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, let's get into Code Sports story of the week. Tomato, how you going, mate?
I'm going good. We've had almost feels like a week off in cricket land because obviously the 2-day test, we spoke about it all last week, but with the 12-day prep, there has still been some pretty massive storylines. Usman Khawaja has dominated that front for the cricket world, not just for his form, his back, but also because he's been talking a bit of shit, specifically shit pitches.
You're already under the pump. There's a lot going on, and you go, you know what? I'm just going to add some gasoline to the fire. And so he was come out and quoted and said, basically, let's be honest, Perth's pitch is shit. Reportedly, Cricket Australia not too happy with that comment.
That's my understanding. Very unimpressed. I mean, as you say, he's already making a few headlines for the wrong reasons, like with the golf, with the form. He's clinging on to his Test career at this point.
Was already clinging on to a degree, you could argue.
Very much so now.
Yeah.
Michael Klinger.
Yeah, and so you throw this into the mix. Cricket Australia boss is not happy. There is still a disciplinary hearing, or it's going to be handed down in the next day or two. I think, and what I've heard is that it's probably just going to be no more than a slap on the wrist.
Yep.
But you can take it as read that the higher ups at Cricket Australia are very unimpressed with those comments. I think they are taking into consideration that it was said at a function rather than a press conference or a podcast or anything like that. So you kind of you get away with a little bit more there because he's trying to entertain the crowd and that sort of thing. But fair to say those comments have gone down like a lead balloon, and we've actually got some data which kind of disproves what he was saying.
I've heard two stories here. Some people you speak to that know way more about cricket than I do said the pitch isn't that bad. It was just either very risky batting or some good bowling. Is that true? Not true? Where do you lean with that?
Well, certainly when you look at the wickets that fell, so 19 wickets in a day of Test cricket is extraordinary. Like you don't see it, except that last year there were 17 on the same deck in Perth, effectively. But if you looked at, I think we talked about this last week. If you looked at the actual dismissals that we saw from both teams, to be honest, it was poor cricket, and it wasn't enormous deviation off the pitch. It wasn't uneven bounce like high-low that were causing those wickets. Whereas Usman's key point was that Steve Smith got hit on the arm twice, which fair enough. Steve Smith's incredibly good and he doesn't miss the ball all that often, so that does raise a red flag. But we've got data from the experts at CricViz which said that of the past 5 years, the pitch variation at Perth, this was actually the truest bounce. So there was very little, actual data to kind of back up was his take, which is interesting.
He got an ICC rating of very good as well, didn't it? Which they're usually like they say it as it is. Generally, when they're bad, they'll let you know.
I have seen the odd pitch that I thought was pretty dusty. Get the very good rating, but I mean it's not in their interest to hype up pitches unless they are very good. So, that was actually no surprise to me.
Even like layman watching, like. I saw a lot of aggressive batting, not defensive batting, and I don't know barely anything about cricket. So I reckon the idea that the pitch was poor, it's like, well, just the eye test. It wasn't like England or Australia were playing conservative cricket. Didn't seem like it. It seemed like they were trying to play a lot of shots pretty regularly.
Yeah.
Fair statement, not fair statement?
Very fair. I'd say of the 22 cricketers who were out there, the only two that I would say confidently who were batting conservatively were Steve Smith and Marnus Labuschagne. They had a half-hour partnership where they didn't score too many runs.
Yep.
That's kind of their style. That's how they do it. Everybody else seemed rather reckless, and sometimes you give a little bit of extra rope. Certainly, that's how you kind of have to expect that with the England team. That's how they play. But some of the shot selection, not just from England, like from Australia, was just mind blowing. But now we've got a pink ball test. We've had a 12-day build-up, so there has been a lot to talk about in between the two tests, not least of all selection on the Australian front.
So that'll come out tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow there's going to be a big. Australia doesn't have to confirm their team until Thursday, the hour before the toss. But I think we'll know a lot more tomorrow.
Okay.
Because they'll have the big training session. Usman didn't train last night. There's obviously still big question marks.
Driving range for Usman last night.
Putt.
Well, he pulled out of the invitational last week, so he's resting his back.
Thanks so much. Thanks, bro.
Usman v Jimmy Smith. It's not going to happen this week. No, so the biggest question mark with Uzi is his fitness. Honestly, more than his form, which might be a point that rankles a few fans. But I think the Australian cricket team over certainly the past 10 years, they prefer to give a player one extra test than cut him off a test too early. So,
could you argue he's already been given that?
You certainly could. Over the past 12 months, even the India series, we kind of saw his form start to dip there, and he hasn't had those big scores that we've become accustomed to. So you could, but I'd say this could be his last chance if he does, if the back comes up.
Just quickly, like on Aussie, if there's any issues around fitness and back spasms and all that, just don't pick him, get someone else in there. But like, there are players getting a few runs, like maybe Renshaw's hitting them well, but like I still don't think there's anyone knocking the door down to
other
take
than
his
Head,
except
for
Travis
Head.
Yeah, if they would obviously elevate Head, but like Weatherall was okay in the second innings last test, but like I know Aussie's international last couple of years haven't been fantastic, but he had domestic runs coming into the summer where there was pressure on. His 4 knocks in Shield in October were 87, 46, 0 and 69. The 2 half centuries he hit were at the Gabba. So it's like, is there someone that's going to come in and do a better job than him? I'm not convinced. Maybe, but I mean, Renshaw's the other one, potentially. But
now, I apologise if I'm just reading headlines here, but is there I wouldn't say a concern about commitment, but like, it seems in the last few years like he didn't play. He was captain of Queensland. He didn't play for Queensland. There was an issue there. Obviously, the golf. I know it's his normal preparation, but you'd have to assume, the age that he's at, the advice he'd be getting probably is like maybe don't do 18 holes before. Like, is there a bit of a concern that he is less committed late on his career? And granted, the flip side of that is there's an argument to be made he was robbed of his best years because he wasn't in the squad for quite a while. Is there a concern about commitment from Aussie right now?
Within Cricket Australia, there is not.
Yep.
Which I think is a pretty important point to make. Like, they have no issue with how he prepared for the first test, and if you wanted to have 18 holes at Royal Queensland this week, I'm sure they might raise their eyebrows, but they certainly wouldn't stop him.
See, is that a failure of leadership? Like he's 39 years old. And they're still just like, mate, just prepare how you want. Surely they'd step up and go, mate, you can't be doing golf again, kind of thing. If he was to, I know we're doing a lot of what ifs or whatever.
Yeah, well, Mitchell Stark's in his 30s as well, and he played the same for the foursome or the group of 4 that Uzi played before.
But Stark's been in relatively good form for quite a while now. Like, he's been dominating. He's 35, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, but that would be what Cricket Australia would point to. It's like other guys in that group played pretty well in that test, and
but the argument against
it's not the worst preparation.
But the argument against that is Stark has been playing good cricket for a few years now. Uzi hasn't.
He's not 39 as well.
And he's not 39.
I don't know, just all that stuff sort of probably just doesn't pass the pub test. I think you're saying within Cricket Australia they're sweet with it, but I think, to the cricket fan, you're like, well, come on, mate, like, get yourself right for the game, focus on the cricket a bit more.
Yeah. The optics is bad.
Yeah.
But I think the point that you raised about the issue he had with Queensland cricket last year was actually quite a little bit more serious, because there was definitely bad blood and kind of a clash between Uzi and members of the Queensland coaching staff.
So for league fans that aren't aware of what happened, so basically he's the captain of Queensland. F1 was here.
Yep.
He chose not to play to go to watch F1.
Yeah, and I think his argument was he still had a lingering hamstring strain, which had caused him to miss some cricket. He said he was going down to Melbourne. He was doing his rehab, etc. There was possibly a miscommunication between himself and the Queensland either medical staff or performance staff.
Because his argument is he was cleared by Queensland to go and do that.
Essentially, yeah. But there was a disagreement there, and it was quite a bit of bad blood to the point where it seemed quite unlikely that he would come back and play for Queensland this summer, potentially move back to New South Wales or.
And what was the game that he missed? Like it was an important game.
It was the final Shield round of the season.
They'd already qualified for the final, hadn't they? So yeah.
Okay, so they'd already qualified. So was it a nothing game essentially though?
Well, they definitely qualified already.
Yeah, they had. The result of it wasn't going to impact them getting in.
Yep.
But it was still just like.
But as a captain,
you're the captain, and
very
even
strange.
Even if you're injured, maybe I don't know, be there and.
Yeah, as a captain, I think that you've probably got a responsibility to be at the cricket.
Certainly, Queensland Cricket agree with you. But they mended those bridges, and I mean, it was his own kind of. He's a bit of a different cat. He marches to the beat of his own drum, and I think a lot of people within Australian cricket respect that. But
the thing with that though is, and I'm just speaking from a league perspective, when you're killing it, you can march to whatever drum you want, Bruss. When you're not killing it, put the drums away. Like that. I'm sorry, but that's just, isn't that life? Yeah. Isn't that life? Like if I'm just trying to think of myself, I was following a league team. Granted, I understand it's different. They tour all the time, all that stuff. Like they're on the road all the time. But I'm just trying to think as a league, if I found out my captain, had that kind of preparation, and if he said, oh well, he does it all the time, it's like he hasn't been playing good footy for 2 years. So and granted, he scored 200 against Sri Lanka, I think. Yeah. So yeah, I understand, but it's like saying, oh yeah, respectfully, they went out and pumped the Titans, and some bloke scored 4 tries, so we don't have to. And I know it's not a 1-for-1 comparison, but I don't know. Like I just think that you can get away with marching to the beat of your own drum when you're killing it. When you're not killing it, I think questions need to be asked. Do we tweak this? Do we tweak that? That's at least my opinion of it. And I just said I don't know Usman as a bloke. He's probably an absolutely fantastic bloke. He's an incredible cricketer. Like there's not taken away from that. But I'm just looking at it from a sporting, analysing perspective kind of thing.
Well, there is only room for one drummer in any band, right? So perhaps.
Except King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, they have 2 drummers.
Oh, there you go.
Rules are there to be broken, aren't they?
Well, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on it?
Well, look, what I said last week was I don't personally have any issue with the golf.
Okay.
It's if it is the way that he wants to prepare, so be it. I think this week I'd put the golf clubs, perhaps the drums kit away, just because I think the biggest issue with him right now is he needs to prove to the Australian selectors in the next 24 hours he's fit, because him jumping up for one catch essentially put him out for 2 days of cricket.
And we've got to remember as well, like because he was off the field, it stuffed our water in the first innings.
Big time.
That was the first thing, and then he got injured for the second one.
Yeah, so I think Australia, if sometimes you'll say if you can get to 90%, we'll pick you. I don't think Australia wants 90% from Usman. I think they need to see 100%. If he can't go full bore into this test, I think they would lean towards resting him, which potentially would be the end of his test career anyway. So
here's a good one for you. Well, I think it's a good one. If his name wasn't Usman Khawaja and we didn't have all the history of how good he is, and he was just playing the way he was playing for the last 2 years, would he be selected?
No, definitely not. He's earned a bunch of credits in the bank from the Australian selectors. What I said before is they'd prefer to cut a guy a test too late than cut him a test too early. There is no doubt in the numbers he's put up over the past 18 months in Test cricket. They're not keeping him in the Test team. It's the reputation. It's what he's done for Australia for the best part of 10 years.
This is probably a really, really silly question. Is there a sense of guilt from Cricket Australia because he was robbed of all those prime years?
I don't think so. There's none of that. He got another crack, came in, killed it, I reckon.
Okay. Yeah,
and he's definitely got a bit of a legacy there. There's a time where he's the best opening batter on the planet for a couple of years, probably.
Yep.
He's just getting on a little bit now.
Okay.
I don't think they owe him any more or anything like that. I think they would like to allow him to finish at Sydney if he could keep the form there that long. But I also feel like if the rope's not that long, if he has another poor Test match, probably that's probably it.
Mate, it's shortening as well,
and it's all because the fact that the head thing went so well. He's the guy that you'd imagine they'd move
and he
up
wants
there.
to go there too.
Well, it sounds like now he does.
He's very open to it. Andrew McDonald when he spoke last week, didn't seem quite as open to it. Certainly in a pinch hitting type situation, he said, "Yep, we can do it on a situational basis." But I didn't get the impression that Andrew McDonald was all in on Travis Head opening for the rest of the series, which is fine.
Yep.
I'm also, happy for the Australian selectors to leave Travis Head in the middle order, where he's a game changing player as well. But it's pretty much the biggest selection point for Australia, other than whether Pat Cummins is actually fit and wants to play in the Gabba test as well.
The other thing is the nature of the injury, though, right? So, if that is what they're concerned about, back spasms. To my knowledge, we were talking pre-show, but he hadn't had a history of back spasms at all. It's not like he's coming back from a hamstring injury or whatever it might be recently, where it's he's literally going at 90%. Back spasms, to my knowledge, as long as they don't flare up, he'll be at 100%. He's fit. He's good to go. So again, I'm not a physio, but if they're very confident that the back spasms aren't going to flare up, he's out there and he's playing at 100%. Obviously, the concern is, do they flare up and it's a replica of the first test? But if the physio staff and the medical staff are confident that they're not going to flare up, it was a one-off incident for Usman Khawaja, who, to our knowledge, doesn't have a history of it, then he's good to go.
Somebody who does have a history of it is Michael Clark. There's probably nobody in Australia who's better placed to talk about back spasms and how they can impact your cricket game. And he wrote a column for us last week saying that he would pick Usman Khawaja. He deserved to hold his place in the team, and that he didn't expect the back spasms would be an issue. So based on that, I think you can expect to see Usman opening the batting at the Gabba.
Thoughts on Travis Head's comments? So he said it's a delicate issue. He wants to be the opener. But I think he also said, and please let me know if I'm wrong, but he also said publicly he'd been saying he didn't want to be an opener, but privately he's been campaigning to be an opener for a while.
He's behind the scenes, he's been campaigning to be an opener since David Warner retired.
Yep.
So, certainly, I mean, he's happy to bat 5, he's happy to bat 6, he's happy to bat wherever, but he put his hand up when David Warner retired, he put his hand up when Steve Smith put his hand up, they went with Smith. The Australian selectors love what he brings in the middle order. They love,
he saved us so many times.
Yeah,
as well.
they love the potential for a top order collapse, which has happened with regularity over the past 2 years. But they love having that, almost like a safety switch. They can flick it and go, Trav, go and get 80 and drag us up to a score of 250 or that sort of thing. And they don't want to mess with that too much. But I think that Australia has a lot of guys who are happy to bat in the middle order. They haven't got a lot of guys who are keen to open. Trav's keen to open, so I think there is a lot that a lot of merit you can put into Trav's comments.
Yeah, you don't have many banging down the door, do you, to open? Renshaw's thereabouts, but there's heaps ready to go in the middle order. You got Webster, you got Inglis.
Yeah.
Like if you have
Mitch Marsh, you could break in emergency, that sort of
thing.
If
you've got Head at the top of the order and Inglis / Webster in the middle order, that's probably a more dangerous lineup than Usman at the top and Head in the middle at the moment. You've probably got a bit more strength there. Anyway,
I feel like you're pro Head starting. You're not pro Head start.
No, I am like before the first test. Like Bardo and I saw it differently. I think it was you and I. I wanted Webster in, and I was happy, to go without Jake Weatherald. And get Webster in that lineup, and that was pushing a minus up. But I didn't realise how keen and open to opening Travis Head was. So in which case, now I'm happy to open him and look. Whether that's at the expense of Weatherald or Khawaja, I want.
Won't be at the expense of Weatherald.
No, it won't. Yeah. No, solid enough in the second innings in the first test, so he'll be there. But in terms of dropping Uzi,
it has been. I don't because of the fact that Head went so well. I don't think it's been spoken about enough. Like the impact of Uzi not being able to come out in that first innings. And Weatherald had to face the first ball, correct?
Yep.
That's again, I'm just trying to think for a league, so maybe I'm an idiot, but there's no way I'm making a rookie take the biggest play of the first.
It changed everything. He had to face the first ball. Marnus had to do the thing he'd been saying he didn't want to do for 6 months. Yep. Smith had to go up to 3, which is something that he's actively avoided for years.
Because Head then came out the next inning and said, I'll face the first ball.
Yeah. He goes, just let me do it.
Yeah.
It was so disruptive. having Usman be unavailable just completely threw things out of whack.
These were all the things that you advocated for in the first test. Marnus to open, Smith to 3, all the things that they hated doing.
Yeah, well, Jakey Weatherald, your pick went well. What's 20?
He did the business, mate. Almost got him to the finish line.
Yeah, and that first order collapse because they'd Bo Webster to come in there and steady the innings. There's a lot of issues going on in that order. Anyway.
The other thing about the Gabba test that I'm kind of keen to talk about, Joe Root came out this week or over the weekend saying he doesn't think Ashes series need to have pink ball tests. Which I actually kind of agree with. I think the tradition of an Ashes series, I don't really want to mess too much with it. I don't think it needs pink ball tests. Still a little bit of a novelty. I don't think you need to bring that into an Ashes series. Where do you stand on that?
I don't mind it at all.
You like the pink ball test?
No, I'm happy to go without it. Like, it doesn't worry me one bit if they were to go like just 5-day tests.
It's nice watching a bit of cricket in prime time. I'll accept that, but like nowhere, hardly anywhere else plays it. They had a pink ball test in the West Indies. They don't do it in England. What have there been, like 30 pink ball tests ever?
Yeah,
I can't believe they're playing that 150th anniversary game in a couple of years at the MCG. As a pink ball game, which I think is ridiculous because they're flying all these old players out. Like everyone who's played an Ashes test, they're bringing them there. They're all 80, 90-year-olds. How are they going to start till 10 at night? And it's supposed to be celebrating the history of the game. Surely that would be a red ball game. Yeah. I don't like the way they try to crowbar it into everything.
Is pink ball because they're trying to make it an exciting test match? Or is it just the time slot?
More than anything, it's time slot.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I was going to say, if it's about excitement, I mean, for all of Baz Balls' negatives, you get excitement.
I would love to see as well, and the data behind it, I could be completely wrong, but because the ball moves so much and the batting looks like it's deteriorating, you had a few lively decks, like how much shorter a day-night tests are because of collapses and the impact of the pink ball and the swinging ball. Maybe it's not as dramatic as I think, but I feel like the tests are a lot shorter. How much that takes away from like the longevity of a test and how much money they lose through that. But
Cricket Australia lost $4 million essentially on the 2-day test in Perth. They'll definitely. I saw a quote from Todd Greenberg over the weekend saying if it was up to him, he'd get on the back of the roller and make it a nice flat deck so you could guarantee a 4-day test.
Off the bat, because that was one of the big questions going in was like, and obviously coming out of it, losing all that money from the day's play, going into a day-night pink ball test in Brisbane, do they just make it flat as a tattoo? We need to recoup some of these losses. We need 4 days.
Good luck telling a curator to take the juice out of a Gabba deck. But what I looked at with Joe Root's comments, I thought pre-series there was this big edict from within the England camp that they were not allowed to talk about anything negative. Don't buy into the negative chat. That's what happens. That's what eats up touring English teams when they come to Australia. So I did think it was kind of interesting that he was, indicating that this England team didn't want to play weren't super excited to be playing the pink ball test. They didn't send the big dogs down to Canberra to play in the CA Prime Minister's game. I don't think they want the pink ball test, and to that end, it's almost as if mentally they've kind of conceded this one a little bit. Like maybe they're looking at Mitchell Starc's record, maybe they're looking at how Australia's record, only having lost one pink ball test in history. I don't know. I thought it was interesting. It was the closest thing to a negative mindset that I've heard come out of England camp this week.
Yeah, to circle back to your earlier question, I actually think pink ball, like day-night tests are great. I think they're awesome for the game, but for the Ashes exclusively, I'd be happy to keep it to 5-day tests.
That's where I'm at. But it is hugely advantageous for Australia.
Oh, yeah.
I literally only lost one in history. And you look at what England do, what India do, what South Africa do when they're at home. Typically, you prepare wickets that suit your teams. Australia does to a point, but not to the same point because I think we'd like to prepare. I think our batsmen would like to prepare a few wickets that were batter friendly. But this is a way that we can, use Australia's advantage of a home series. Pink test.
Now, is the Black Friday sale still going? $19 for the year? Is that still going? Are you aware of?
I feel like today or
might end today.
Perhaps tomorrow is maybe a Cyber Monday type situation.
Look, all I'll say is if you're listening, use the code. Go codesports.com.au/bloke. Use the Black Friday one-word code, $19 for the whole year. Trust me, you will regret it if you don't use it. It is so cheap for the whole year of stories. Mate, Bardo, thanks so much for joining us, mate. We appreciate it. Alrighty, back. We're back to it. I tell you what, you may be looking at saying, hey, you look a little bit different. That's right. We got custom shirts made. English blokes hate head with a picture of Travis Head on it. True statement. Makes sense. One of the great all-time. We've got him in the green and gold colours as well. We thought it would be, it's appropriate after the absolute shellacking England got. After Head, absolutely, is their father, is their king. Well, co-king with Stark, obviously, co-kings. First time ever, I think, England has had co-kings.
Yeah, history-making.
Which is history-making. So we thought we'd get English blokes hate head, which as Aussies, we already kind of knew they didn't like head. It was already kind of in the air, but this is just confirmation.
God save the Co-Kings.
Okay, let's get into it. Oh, big announcement, guys. So I was speaking to Lukey on the weekend. Lukey asked me Mazda, you guys know the drill, LDC_01. And I was like, so a couple of weeks ago, and he was like, mate, I don't want to do something more. Like, I don't, yes, it's good. We appreciate promoting Aspley. The partnership's great, but I want to do something more. So they went away and they brainstormed, and this is what they're going to do. And this is freaking cool. It's called the X that you actually want. And what it is so Aspley Mazda's X event, X Effect, X Factor, X Access, X Rentals for an experience you won't forget. And what Lukey's doing, if you purchase a 2024 CX-5, which is an X rental, so you don't have to pay the premium of a new car, but it's got like a couple thousand Ks on it. So it's like really, really good middle ground. So Lukey's keen to basically, if you get a 2024 CX-5 G20 Max, 32,844 drive away, or a 2024 CX-3 Pure 27,385 drive away, you go in the draw to be gifted basically an experience of the lifetime. And what it will be, you'll be gifted myself, Alex Glenn, Jaral Yaoyi. We'll have a corporate box at Suncorp Stadium. You'll be able to watch a Broncos game with us in that box and Lukey, and potentially other people as well. And I'll be doing a live show in that corporate box at a Broncos game. So you go in, if you buy one of these cars that I just read out, you go in the draw. So it's an X you want, X players, X car, all that good stuff. And the great thing about this as well is like a lot of these like draws that you do or whatever, you're talking like 1 in 10,000 chance or whatever. This is not even close to that. This is not even close to that. So make sure if you are in the market for a car, speak to Lukey, best in the biz. My wife has a CX-5. It is unbelievable. We will never ever change. Like the only reason we change is we'd go up because we're going to have more kids. That's the only reason we change. We love it. So it's the X you like, limited. Once the cars are gone, guys, the draw, whoever has purchased the cars, they go in the draw. Outside of that, no one else is going in the draw. There'll be no other way to enter this draw. It is an experience of a lifetime. Like imagine sitting next to Jaral Yaoyi watching the Brisbane Broncos play at Suncorp, or Alex Glenn, a former captain. Crazy stuff. Now, they wanted to say ex-legends, and I was like, look, let's be real here. Don't really qualify as a legend. So that would be fake marketing. That would be false advertising. So, guys, as I said, give him a message. If you're in the market for a CX-3 or a CX-5, give him a message. You go in the draw to have an experience of a lifetime. All thanks to Lukey, Aspley Mazda, guys. This is so exciting. I cannot wait, and it'll be an amazing day out. So you purchase a CX-5, CX-3, an X1, an X rental, you will be potentially gifted that opportunity. Okay, let's get into it, shall we? The KO can't miss moment. Well, the big moment that kind of, I wouldn't say Garrick going to the open market didn't catch me by surprise, but what the KO can't miss moment for me is him like basically going to sign with the Roosters. Now, it's not confirmed yet, but it looks like it's going to happen. He's off contract at the end of 26, so this will be 2027. He's also come out and said, it's also been reported that, he's really basically best mates with DC or very, very close. This is a huge, huge situation for the Manly Seagulls because obviously they have a lot of outside backs. However, he's there, outside of Tommy Turbo, but even with Tommy Turbo there, he's their guy that's there week in, week out. He's the guy that's, arguably the most consistent. Granted, does he have the top gear in him like Akula has? Maybe not. However, he's their goal kicker, very consistent, especially on the wing. I reckon this is big news for Manly and big news for the Roosters. Root?
Yeah, obviously the timing, reportedly heading there, I believe it's 2027. Mm-hmm. Obviously Mark will go back to Union at that point. You would assume Daniel Tupou would be getting close to retiring, if not retired by then. But, given his form last year, might be further away than we think. But, yeah, I think it's a good play by the Roosters, getting him, I think you got to remember as well with him, he's not a guy that's played rep football. He hasn't won comps. So he wouldn't be paying huge overs for him. I think he's probably, I know he plays centre. I've been saying it for 2 years. I think it's ridiculous. He's a winger and he's a great winger. He's probably the best winger in the game that hasn't played rep football. Who's got experience.
When he was playing wing? Yeah, I could. I'm trying. It's hard to on the spot, but it's not an unreasonable statement.
Yeah, I think you'd be hard pressed to find a better winger that's as experienced as he is that hasn't played rep football that you're not paying through the nose.
Yeah. And the thing that he's availability is one of the best assets of an outside back or at least an NRL player, and he is essentially always available.
Yeah, it's interesting how you look at it now. if this was 15 years ago and this contract happened, you'd go, geez, you're signing a guy in 2 years' time that's 30 years old. You just don't even think like that anymore. It's all just changed so much.
Like
he's going to be 30 years old when he arrives there.
What was the age Joey retired? Like 31 or something
31,
like that? Yeah. Crazy how
And the
different
2
it is.
years before that had been chaotic. Yeah.
Jeez. Timmy, what do you reckon, mate?
Yeah, there's kind of this band of players, like category of players who, to your point, Rue, like who could slot into any rep team and wouldn't look out of place, but probably aren't going to get there because of the amount of superstars in our game. And you add in sort of the durability of it as well. And because they're not these sort of Kangaroos players or Origin players, Jared Croker was another one who, you're not going to pay $1 million for them because they're not that quite rep quality, but a serious quality footballer. So I said, you mentioned, Kemp, sort of the durability of Reuben Garrick. Played 20-plus games every year in his career, barring 17 in the COVID season, which was shortened. And you're getting a bloke on, I'd imagine, relatively decent value, plays games of footy, one of the most versatile outside backs in the competition, probably top 3 to top 5 in terms of centre, wing, fullback, can play all of them at a high click. You add in, he's a really good goal kicker, so when he goes over to the Roosters, that depending on what sort of happens with Cherry Evans, but if Ches plays a year there, like they're going to need a backup goal kicker to Sammy Walker. If he goes down, he's just, again, like for all the reasons he's such a great signing for the Roosters if it does eventuate, he's such a big loss to the Manly Seagulls who, they love him over there. Like it is a sign of, and I don't know how hard Manly have, fought to either keep him or if they've said, you know what, go explore, we're happy to let you go. Just changing for the guard at Manly, there's a few new faces. Like
it's an interesting one because like I get it if he's pricing himself out and they're trying to keep Kohler. Like I understand. I'm not sitting here having a crack at Manly because it's like, listen, I do think Kohler is your number one priority right now, but it is a bit of a weird spot. That backline without Garrick, depending on Tommy Turbo, obviously availability, which is essentially the whole club. Like that truly is. Any conversation you have about Manly, it has to be caveated with depending on Tommy's fitness. But let's say he is in and out of the side. They're lacking a lot of experience in the outside backs that you can really go, that's the senior outside back that we look to make sure that he has an 8 out of 10 every single week.
And I guess they're probably looking at moving forward in terms of your centre wings between Tolutau Kolar, who will take up a good chunk, Leho Hopewade. They're probably investing in him, or they are investing in him, saying, you can be our future, whether it's in the outside backs, at fullback, whatever it might be. They're probably going, can we afford to be paying a big chunk of money to Lehigh, to Tolutau Kolar, to Reuben Garrick, with then Tommy Turbo and big money at fullback, and maybe they've gone, someone's got to go.
Well, we've been critical of Manly for this exact reason, and maybe it was a couple other guys that we would look to and say that's who you'd move on, but we've been super critical that they kept too many outside backs and they need forwards. Now, granted, if they pay massive overs for Kohler and they've literally shot themselves in the foot where they've lost Garrick and they're paying their outside backs overs, that's a different thing. But if they use that money to fill out this forward pack, then I get it. I've been calling for it for quite a while.
And that's it. If Garrick's on his 700 odd K, I don't know the exact figure, but I think he's on a pretty decent wicket there, and they go, all right, we'll get rid of him. We'll find a centre wing who can come in on 300K, spare 400 in the cap, put that towards a back row or a middle or whatever it might be.
Or like 200 to Kohler, it's like extra to Kohler on top of his contract, and then 200.
Yeah, in which case, like I get it.
I get it as well. And also like you're doing it at a time where he can get quite a lot from other clubs, so it's like not hard to move. Not that he needs to be moved on per se because his contract ends, but you're doing it at a time where he's still not hot property, but hot enough where he's going to find a place. Mate, what do you reckon? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, makes sense. I guess for Manly to get, free up a bit of space, they need to spend money in the forward pack. We've kind of said that all year, or for the last couple of years as well. So he's on a big wicket there. That'll free up a bit of cash. Good sort of like, the Roosters are pretty well sorted in the outside backs, but he'll add a good bit of depth. And as Roo said, kind of, might be a nice seamless kind of transition when Tupou maybe wraps things up in the next couple of years. But good handy player who'll slot right in there. Obviously knows DC really well as well. Good mate with him. But interesting times at Manly with a couple of, favourite sons or just like big, people who have been part of the furniture for a while, moving on and finding new homes.
I got to say, and I'm being a hater, guys. I freely admit I'm being a hater. But like Tommy Turbo getting told he's the captain in a car park. And also, listen, I get it if it was like privately told in a car park, but that's the content for him being selected captain. Like, what?
It's one of those things that people say, it doesn't matter, but like it says something. It says something. It doesn't say nothing.
Put it this way: when I first saw it, my immediate reaction was like, Seabold's got a coffee in his hand in a car park, telling he's the captain of Like, surely, at least from, let's say, you know what, it means nothing. Let's say you're in that camp. Come on, mate, doesn't mean anything. Okay, I'll go on that camp. At least from a content perspective, like, let's milk this. Let's get something big from it, you know?
Yeah, and especially, like, a foot to his right was Kieran. Like, even if Kieran Foran did it, like, I think that would. Yeah, the whole.
It was so casual. Hey guys, you know something that, like, literally, essentially, no men in the history of the world get to experience. Captaincy of an era. Yes, Tommy. Yeah, well, mate. Yeah, mate. All right, off to training. It's like, and look, I'll be clear. I understand that if it happened like that privately, and it wasn't a part of the announcement, I'd be like, yeah, okay, I get that. You know, they're the boys, they're doing preseason, whatever, they're busy. But, like, at the very least, surely milk it for content, make the moment special. And maybe it's coming, I don't know.
Not to mention as well, like, and you know, it doesn't really matter for which captain it is, but this is a captain that you had to convince to stay a few weeks ago.
He only signed a 1-year extension.
He bleeds Manly fucking Seagulls. Like, I just think they could have done more for him. Yeah. Just on Reuben Garrick coming to the Roosters as well. Like, Roosters do have a bit of a history of this as far as, you know, when you look back to like the early 2000s, they got Brett Mullins at the back end of his career, 30 plus. They got Brett Morris a few years ago. This signing reminds me a lot of when they got Mick Gordon a couple of years ago.
Oh, yeah.
It turned out to be a really handy one.
Yeah.
Could play wing, could play fullback, covered a few different spots.
They're really good
goal
at it.
Kicker.
They are good at nailing that bit. Like, they've been a bit hit or miss, or mostly miss in their marquee signings in this last round, but these guys that kind of come in and fill spots. I don't want to say fill spots about Garrett because he's better than that, but you know what I'm saying. Like.
But it'll be interesting as well. Like, you get to 2027 and you, like, would it shock anyone if that's Teddy's last year? Like, there's also going to be a bit of a void. You know, that they've got these young guys there who I know they've got, you know, very high hopes for, but an experienced guy like Garrick will be pretty valuable.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Did you rate Mick Gordon as footballer?
I like Mick Gordon. Yeah, I was always a fan. Flash,
low-key gun, Flash.
Yeah,
Kuma boy.
Oh my God, this fucking guy.
Born there. I think he moved when he was about 18 months old.
Yeah, I've never heard that mentioned before, which I think says more.
Yeah,
he's probably ashamed of it, to be honest.
Yeah, it sounds that way.
Ricky Ponting's wife.
Mick Gordon was.
Peter Siddle's grandparents.
Oh my God.
The honour roll just goes on for Kuma.
If there's one thing you know about someone from Kuma, they're going to tell you they're from Kuma.
Oh, without a doubt.
Like, locked in.
You know what? It could be my last ever chance to mention on this podcast that Mick Gordon is from Kuma. So I'm going to take it.
Just quickly back on the captaincy announcement. I don't know for a fact, but I'll be close enough to saying I know for a fact that the content person was probably sitting there going, can we please do more for this? So I'm not blaming the content person.
No, and the content people at Manly are out of this world. Yeah. I'm confident they would have sat there going,
can we do
can we do anything else?
Bit of slow-mo, bit of emotional music maybe, or like, you know, get, you know, an absolute legend. It's not, and what's crazy as well is, like, because they've changed their CEO, so, like, it seems like their connection to the old boys is pretty good right now. You got a fair whack of good old boys to come in and do it. Like, they only recently, like, you know, the 11, 13, 2007 to, you know, 13, 14, like, they were a big dog club. So they're here to be able to do. Okay, with the Roosters quickly, I want to talk to you because obviously Garrett going to the Roosters. And I'm going to sound like a hater again. I'm more than happy we get to the start of the season and go, yep, Roosters are looking like premiership threats. I am shocked beyond belief by the amount of people already now saying, mate, lock them in for a premiership threat. Have we not done this dance with the Roosters for the last couple of years? Yes, I'll grant you. I'll give you 2 years where injuries completely decimated your season. But the other years has been not even close to a premiership threat, in my opinion. Now, granted, they've been finals threat for sure. Obviously, they've made finals essentially every year. And some of those years has been great with all injuries. But I'm shocked at the amount of people that just lock them into a premiership threat. I'm genuinely shocked.
Yeah, I can live with people saying they're a threat at a premiership, but I mean, how you could possibly have them on top of Brisbane or Penrith, Melbourne,
or even Melbourne?
I can't. And I think Melbourne are in the most interesting spot they've been in for a number of years. But, like, yeah, they have a mad roster on paper. When don't they?
That's what I mean. I'm shocked that, you know, like, I'm with you. Like, I'm not shocked. I understand how they think it. But what I'm shocked at is like, this is not new for the Roosters. The last year that just happened was really the only year where we sat back and said, I mean, their roster was still incredible. Like, I don't buy the whole narrative around, man, their roster was this, like, terrible roster that, you know, the little guys did it again. Like, no, it was still a good, solid roster, just not as good as the other years. But some of these other years, when you go through that roster at the start of the season, it's like, holy shit.
Yeah, and the time last year where we started to go, oh, okay, maybe they are the real deal was when Sam Walker had the keys.
Yeah.
And with TC walking there, I just don't know how they're going to work out that balance. And it's easy to say, oh, they're a great system, they'll work it out, but it's the one thing they haven't been able to do for the last half decade.
And you could argue at least this last round, their whole Achilles heel was too many cooks in the kitchen. That was the problem. The fact that they had too many guns recruited to the club that played too similarly, that needed the ball. Timmy, what do you reckon? Where do you land with this one?
I think I nearly declared the Roosters in 2023 to win the comp because their roster was so good.
Yep.
And I think I also declared the Dolphins to get the wooden spoon, and the Dolphins pumped them in round one. I was like, I could never do that again. I've seen better Roosters squads not play grand finals and just fizzle out. So it's a good squad going in the new year, but as I said, I need to see it first.
Because I've seen a lot of people in the game, and look, it's obviously their opinion. I'm not having a crack with that. But there's been quite a lot of people that know rugby league. They're like, mate, they are the one to watch next year. I'm just like, they're definitely one to watch, but Premiership heavyweight, I'm not.
And it's like new combinations coming in. The big one being Sam Walker, Daly Cherry Evans. How are these two going to gel together?
Reece Robson.
Yeah, Reece Robson. How long is it going to take?
Connor Watson, does he go 13 or does Radley go 13?
There's enormous changes going on. Once again, they're stacked with attacking champions, and it's like, all right. We know, and across so many different sports, that doesn't always work. They've been a lesson in recent years, the Roosters, of balance across your roster and finding the right fit for each position is so key. It's not all about having stars.
I'd argue this. For people that are just locked into their premiership threats, tell me what style of footy they're going to play. I'll tell you what Broncos are going to play. I'll tell you what Storm are going to play. I'll tell you what Penrith Panthers play. I'll even tell you what Sharkies are going to play. Even the Dolphins, I'll tell you. I have no idea. Like, is Reece Robinson literally just going to be shoveling the ball from the deck? Is that his only job and make a lot of tackles? Is he being wasted like that? He's in New South Wales number 9.
How are Walker and Cherry Evans going to play? I have no idea.
Is Walker going to be 7 still, or is he 6? Or does DCE go to 6? Can he hold back his urge to be the main man? Connor Watson, it's a huge deal if he's 13 because he gets his hand on the ball quite a lot. Teddy, how many runs does he ever get? Like, I just think there's so many questions. I just don't know how you could say they're on the same level right now as a Penrith or a Melbourne or even a Brisbane when we don't even know what style of footy they play. Now, I want to be really clear. It doesn't mean that I'm going to be surprised if they do kill it because the roster is amazing. I'm not ready just to lock it in yet because I need to see them play first. Tammy, what are your thoughts, mate?
Yeah, I actually reckon they're not getting any worse than last year, are they? They've recruited pretty well, I reckon. I think Reece Robson's a great get. I reckon they're building kind of nicely. The weird one is DCE because I thought Savala and Walker were starting to click and kind of complementing each other quite nicely. This changes thing, obviously bringing Cherry Evans in, who's another kind of chief playmaker. Is he going to get on Sam Walker's toes a bit when he's finally kind of found someone that he was gelling with?
Does Yoelu? Does he get dropped?
Well, probably yes.
I would say almost definitely. Yeah. I think Hugo's going to end up being the 14.
And so Connell goes to 13, then Radley goes to an edge. Again, so I'm with you in regards to are they improving? Yeah, for sure. With White's emergence last year, or whatever.
Yep.
I'm just surprised at the amount of people boom, lock them in.
Yeah, well, their best footy this year was great. They were probably the one team you're their best can probably mix it with those top sides, but then they'd have just these shockers out of nowhere and lose to teams that you'd expect them to smash. And probably the Sharks final was a good example of that as well. Everyone probably expected the Roosters.
You know what the
that.
Sharks was, and granted they do have kind of stars, but that was perfect evidence of a team that has a very clear style of football and a style of play, beating a team full of stars that didn't click on the night.
Yeah,
in my opinion. And look, Broncos are guilty of it too, so I'm not sitting here saying it's just the Roosters. How many times have we seen a Broncos in a season come into a year with a crazy roster and their style of footy is just what was that?
Yeah. Well, they are the 4th favourites, the Roosters. They're $8 anyway to win the comp, so the market says the same. It's pretty hot on them as well.
It's interesting though when you have a look, as you said, I don't think we know how the Roosters are going to play. And granted, the Raiders have lost their halfback, but I sure as shit know how the Raiders are going to play their footy. They're at $14, the Roosters are at $8.
So that's what I mean. I don't get that. They were the minor premiers last year. Granted, they lost Fogarty, but Fogarty had a great year, but it was very much off the back of a forward pack, absolutely dominating teams.
Load up responsibly.
Of course, always responsibly.
Even the Sharkies, they're at $21.
That's what I'm
saying.
Canterbury's
at $14 too.
That's what I'm
Bunnies
saying.
and the Flies at 29. Yes. That's huge.
That's what I'm saying. And look, I know Roosters are going to hear what I just said and think I'm saying Roosters are shit. They're not going to do well. That's what you're hearing. It's not what I'm actually saying. What I'm saying is that we've been here before with the Roosters, looked at a roster and gone, holy shit. And I'm not saying 10 years ago this happened. It's pretty much happened for the last 4 or 5 years. Granted, 1 year. It's a wait and see for me with the Roosters.
This is a big value on the Wars too at $26.
Metcalf stays injury-free. They made the top 4 last year.
Yeah.
Fish another year there. Barnett another year as a leader.
And if you Yeah, if
Laban comes in
if you're
as well.
top 4 like they were, like I think they would have probably finished potentially in the top 2. Could have had 2 home games.
I know people don't like when we do this, but far out. The amount of sliding doors moments last year. I think it's because Broncos ended up winning it. Like if Penrith or Storm do, we just go, yeah, okay, that's the normal story. But the fact that Broncos snuck in the 4, it changed everything.
Yep.
It just changed absolutely everything. And they really were the only team that was so willy-nilly they could upset a really good side. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like no other side's going to beat. I don't reckon any other side probably beats Raiders at home week 1 the way the Broncos did. They'd already beaten Penrith. They'd
I don't know
already
if
beaten
there's
Storm.
a team ever that beats them the way they did. They lost that game 3 times. It's
crazy.
One at once.
Craziness.
It was insane.
Crazy sliding doors moment. Yeah, so look, what I will say is I'm so excited to see Robbo, what he's going to do with this, because I do think he's learnt a lot from the last time he had this situation with Cheese, Manu, Teddy, you know, so many guys that needed the ball in
I
him.
think you're right.
Yeah.
He's too smart not to work out, to learn from the mistakes of the past.
And I just think the forward pack with a guy like White being built around it, like you're playing White at 8 or 10, not 13?
Nah, 8 or 10.
Yeah, 8 or 10?
100%.
Yeah. I don't think you can have Connor Watson on the bench the whole time.
Watson is he's not now 13. He's an unbelievable utility, but in this Roosters side, well, I think his best position is 13.
Yep.
And he can play it next year.
And I think Radley was great on the edge towards the back end of last year. So yeah, interesting. I'm really excited to see the Roosters. I can't wait to see what style of play. And I always, in their defence, with that last recruitment pool like 4 or 5 years ago, it was straight after the Turbo year, I'm pretty sure. So there was a style of footy that Robbo was looking at going, okay, it's basically touch footy through the middle. I just need crazy ball runners. Then they pulled the game back and changed the 6 again rule. And all of a sudden, Robbo's sitting there going, fuck, I just recruited for a whole different style of rugby league. So there is that. So I just wanted to ask that question. I mean, that's the KO can't miss moment. It's Garrick, it's the Roosters, it's all that good stuff. Look, England are looking to tie the series in the second test match of the Ashes. Starts Thursday, 3 p.m. We'll make sure to have... We'll probably try and record something on Wednesday if Matty's still alive. The poor fella is crook. The anus is getting a working. You can cut that out if you want, bro.
People need to know.
They need to know the real... Yeah, people want to know the truth. They want to know the truth, the details.
James McManus.
Okay, I'll pay that. I'll pay
Keep
that.
it in.
That was good. I'll pay that. Catch every ball live with no ads breaks during on KO, and the F1 Championship reaches its zenith under the Abu Dhabi lights this weekend as the world's best go all in for one final push in 2025. Watch the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix exclusively live on Fox Sports, included with KO. Race is at 12 a.m. Monday. This summer of golf swings into full gear as Australian Open tees off this weekend. If you're listening, Hammy just did a golf swing, mimicked it.
Good podcasting, that.
You know what? There's so many things that we do that is like bad podcasting that we just don't think about at the time. Watch some of Australia's finest compete alongside top international talent for one of the nation's most iconic golf titles. Watch every round live on KO. Is Cam Smith? Is this what Cameron Smith missed? Didn't he have a bad round or something recently?
He missed the cut at the Oz PGA.
Yeah.
And missed a trick with one of the great plugs. Rory McIlroy is playing at the Australian Open next week.
Okay, well, there you go.
Which is huge.
Huge.
I heard Cam Smith did his back playing local cricket in the lead up to it.
That's good. That's good, Hammy. I like it.
Pretty disappointing.
But it's his preparation, so we'll leave it.
He prepares for every golf tournament.
Yeah, of course. Playing a bit of cricket. Don't forget, guys, Lontel, sponsored by Lontel. I want to try and get over to Tasmania because they're based in Tasmania. Obviously, they're a nationwide company. I'm going to try to get over to Tasmania. If I do, to see the head office, I'll make sure to let you guys know.
That's where I'm from as well. You can go and check out Gary Goodman's bat from his century on debut in the Tassie Cricket Museum.
I want to try and get there. I'm a big cricket guy. You know
tell
that.
the grandkids about?
Yeah, my wife will be like,
Mom loved it.
Oh, yeah.
Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was
First
weird.
and 8th time.
It was weird. I asked him for advice, like where to go in Tasmania, and he mentioned that as top of the list as a priority.
Blundstone Arena. Members End.
But yeah, proudly brought to you by Lontel, guys. Lontel.net.au/bloke. Use the code bloke. It's pay as you go, guys. Also, you may be eligible for NBN. There'll be a link in the show notes. 150,000 homes eligible. It used to cost you $30,000 to get hooked up. It's now free. And if you want crazy internet, similar to what, if you check my Instagram stories where you're downloading like 80 gigs in like 5 minutes or whatever, That's what Lontel can give you if you get NBN. Now, obviously, it varies different places, but that's at least what I've got NBN. That's how I did it. Takes so quick to sign up. If you've already signed up but you haven't actually executed the final parts of it, give them a call. They're the best. They've won the best customer service 5 years running, guys. This whole bloke operation is powered by Lontel. All the internet, it's totally changed all of our uploads, everything like that. So a massive shout out to Lontel. Get around them. Okay, it's time. What turned our frown upside down? It is the R360 delay. Now, look, I didn't take pleasure in it. However, it does make me, if I put my rugby league hat on, it did go a bit of a sigh of relief. You know, I didn't think it was going to ruin the game, but I didn't want to lose a guy, you know. And granted, it says it's been pushed back to 28. I've always been of the mind of like, I'm just not understanding how this works as a business model. You know, we've spoken about this quite a few times, so I'll be quick. But like, unless a huge corporation picks it up, I don't know how it makes money. Like, if you're advertising, if it's on a streaming platform, you're not going to be advertising locally. And to my understanding, I don't think they have a system yet on a lot of these platforms where you can advertise locally. So where do you generate the revenue to sell the rights to a local? And when I say local, I'm saying nationally. Like, so for example, if they're showing the game in Australia, because there's a lot of Australians playing, but they've got to deal with Netflix. Netflix has to cover all the advertising dollars that they would usually sell. They would get Australian companies. And we spoke just recently with the cricket. Ended 3 days early. They lost $4 million. Like, and that's something that's, you know, sold locally. Now, how do you go about selling correct in rugby union in different countries? And also, like, how do you even get a local fan base engaged? Like, where's the history? Where's the connection? All these clubs that we see that are big clubs now in, you know, rugby league or whatever, the ones that were started 20 years ago they're probably still running at a loss, and they took tens of millions of dollars to set up. And the other ones that have been around forever, that's the point. They've been around forever. They've had time to build up that connection where it means more than just a team. It's a part of someone's life. And I just don't know where they generate the revenue. They've said they've delayed it 28. That's also after the World Cup, I'm pretty sure as well. Mm-hmm. I think it's dead in the water, I'll be honest. I think it's dead in the water. I think they wanted to make it work. I think they realised how hard it would be to get the numbers required of high-quality players. Rugby league isn't what it was 20 years ago, where you know, our best players are earning 300 grand. Like, if you're earning 800 grand, yes, another 5 to 700K is a lot of money, but your lifestyle isn't going to change that much. And granted, I have had people that are in finance that have said, oh, mate, you know, if you earn this much over 5-6 years, it can set you up for later in life so you can retire early. I understand that, but that still doesn't replace the 5 to 6 years where you're playing something you love in a country you were brought up in, you know, like. And so I just think they underestimated that. Boys, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't have too much to add to what you said, mate, but it's like, I don't know, the whole thing just seemed a little bit farcical to me.
Who's even running it?
Like, you're given no details. There's the ideas floated about where teams could be, couldn't be. Even like being over the Ashes and talking to some of the journos, like, there's just no information on it. Yep. There's nothing doing on it. There's nothing.
Like, where's their
solid.
staff? Who's their staff?
Yeah, I don't know.
Where's their headquarters?
Yeah. The whole thing's just been very bizarre. And I honestly wonder if in rugby league circles, if, you know, this has obviously been a big talking point for the last 8 weeks or so in particular, during the fucking off season.
Yeah.
Because it just makes sense to have something to talk about, and people love the idea of who's going to go, who's going to stay, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I'm in your camp. I don't think it'll happen, really. I think we'll talk about it for another year when it's boring times. But it all just seems a little bit strange to me.
Yeah, I took heaps of pleasure in it, to be honest.
It's entertaining.
Yeah. Oh, no, I mean, I took heaps of pleasure in the announcement that it's being pushed back to 2028 or whatever it is. So I feel for the two league boys, Lomax and Pappenhausen, potentially impacted by it. But while that's unfortunate, I'm sure they'll be fine. I'm sure they'll find a good contract somewhere, whether it's for a year or long term. But, yeah, the tinfoil's on for those.
Tinfoil's on. I'll let you have your thoughts first, and then I'll get the tinfoil hat on.
Yeah, well, there was just so many question marks. How does it work? What are the rules? All that sort. Like, all we've really heard is like names that are attached to it. No other details. So it doesn't really surprise me that it's fallen over. I'm kind of glad that it's kind of pissed off. It was just a bit more noise, and I was getting a bit bored of it, to be honest, without hearing any of those firmer details. But yeah, I'm with you, Kempy. I can't how do they sort of salvage it from here?
If you don't have the money to do it now, why are you going to have the money in 2028? Yeah. Like,
I'm just glad no one really went too far down the garden path. And yes, there's been a few players rumoured to have been talking to him, Pappy, Lomax, Haas, whatever. I'm glad no one had to cop the big 10-year ban or anything like that, or did any signed on to a competition that now doesn't exist or anything.
Because Vlandis has come back and basically said those guys we use, they will be welcome back. Now, we'll get to that. I want to get to the tinfoil.
Yes.
What I don't get and what I've never understood is, like, I feel like we have just promoted the shit out of this game and we're being used by some dark, nebulous organisation. Because, like, why is it all league players that are all over the news? Like, how come we're not here? And granted, maybe there's a reason for it. I don't know, but like in Australia, maybe it's because the sport's not as big. But like, I've barely heard any union players being sounded out.
And that's the thing for me as well, that I would imagine in union, if they're about to lose all their players, they got a World Cup next fucking year. Like, wouldn't that be
huge
burn the
news
village kind of stuff?
And if you're getting offered $2 million and you actually play union and you're good, there would be genuinely people go, you know what, I'll miss a World Cup to get paid $2 million a year. Because like we're all talking about, Payne Haas, he'll say no to $1.5 million because he wants a better life. Well, yeah, I'll tell you what, the bloke getting paid $700K and is not Payne Haas, is not guaranteed all these third pays, whatever, he'll take $2 million too, and he plays union. And so I just wonder, you know, have we been bamboozled, hoodwinked and used by for some other ulterior motive as a game to promote something? Because it just doesn't make sense.
I think there's a few ways to look at it, but from the Australian perspective, it's just the pure fact that the media in Australia is getting less and less, big around rugby union. It's on the down, leagues on the up. That's what's getting the clicks, and as it has done in recent months around R360. But I think from a union perspective, is just that they can take players from Japan, from France, the entirety of Europe, in all these, like New Zealand, all these different strong rugby union nations, whereas rugby league, it's from Australia. So this is probably their in to the Australian media, which they've, if it is to your theory, Campy, and the tinfoil hat is true, the way into Australian media was through links to rugby league.
Yeah, but I just wonder, because I haven't, and maybe it has been big in other countries, I've seen a couple of comments from rugby union people.
Well, the thing is, if it was generally going to happen, and it very well still may, what was it, 8 teams proposed or something, so league players, you can come in, you can get a few outside back sort of thing forwards. It doesn't really translate that well. Whereas, if they were getting people from other competitions, they can go all around the world.
I just can't help get rid of the feeling there is an ulterior motive here that I don't know what's going on, because it doesn't add up. Does it add up to you, boys? Does this whole thing add up to you? Does it
weird.
Pass the pub test?
No.
If someone said there's going to be a $1 billion rugby 360 tournament, it's going to come. We'll hear no talk about the rugby union players going, but all we'll hear about league. But then it will get delayed 2 or 3 years. When the rubber's about to meet the road, it gets delayed 2 or 3 years.
Is the tinfoil hattie Kempy something around generating interest around rugby for the World Cup next year? I mean, I know it's bigger than that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would like you to really sit on this for the next week, and I want a theory.
Leave the hat on.
I'm happy to leave the hat on. It's not passing the pub test. You don't spend this much money. You don't lean on this many contacts. You don't get this out there unless you're leaning on contacts in the media. You've got to be at relatively high up to generate this much buzz, this consistently for this long. You go to their wiki, it's 1 page, and there's not a single quote from someone that actually works for the friggin' Rugby 360. Maybe there is a quote out there. I don't even know who the CEO is. I don't even know who their head of marketing is. It's just this random thing that's happening that's got no actual, it's like a fake business almost. It's situated overseas somewhere. I feel like there's some kind of ulterior motive. Is it to generate hype for the World Cup coming to the country?
A Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, mate, multi-level marketing, I don't know.
I want part 2 next week.
Yeah, listen, I'll have to think about it more deeply, but there has to be an ulterior motive, because that's the only thing that makes sense. Now, granted, just because something doesn't make sense doesn't necessarily mean there is an ulterior motive. However, this is just so weird. It's just so weird.
Where some of our journos have just seen an opportunity to get a lot of fucking
But sure, there's other
journos
journos in other sports,
That's what I'm saying, but is it just that because it's rugby league off-season, now guys have lent into it more?
But it was happening a bit during the season as well. But I see what you're saying. It's an easy win. It's like the Perth Bears. It's the new Perth Bears. Sorry, it's the new Bears.
Yes.
North Sydney Bears. Every single off-season we talk about how they come back into the comp. Now they need something else. But I don't know, bro. I just feel like there's something else going on here that I don't... how could you get this far along but reportedly haven't raised enough funds? That makes sense.
Especially, the big one there is from a league perspective. As far as we know, 2 players had all bar signed. Had that not have happened, it'd be okay, what is going on? But something's happened to get these players almost across.
But then, like, as if you would ever walk out of a contract without some kind of bank guarantee.
Yeah.
Like, for example, the Zach Lomax situation. Now, Eels might welcome him back, but a little bit like the Fafita at the Titans situation, I don't think they should welcome him back.
No
should
way.
Go, mate, like, so he can't play for another NRL club for 4 years or 3 years. Now, there have been talks about, fighting in MMA or whatever, and, like, good luck to him if he does that. Like, that's incredibly brave, like crazy in bravery. But you're not going to earn anywhere near the coin you're going to earn in league. Like, he'll probably have to end up playing union overseas somewhere. Or in Australia, which is, because he doesn't have a contract now, there's no way, Australian rugby are going to get strong-armed into a huge deal. So he'll be taken unders probably going, you know what I'm saying? Like, it is a disaster. And that's it. Unless he truly is, maybe he is truly just about being great and he wants to fully go all the way into UFC. The problem is, with MMA, even if you're in the top 5 in a weight division, you might not make $1 million in a year. Zach Lomax can earn, I know his contract's about $700K, but you add in Origin, you add in third parties, he might actually earn $1 million a year for the next 3 or 4 years at the Eels. The Pappy situation, I think he'll just land a little bit different because he was already, you could tell he was on the outer there, in my opinion anyway. It always looked like it. So I reckon he might land at the Dogs. But again, another situation where he doesn't have that much leverage. Like, whereas before, while he was at the Storm and you wanted to get him out of that contract, he's probably going to take 100 or 200K less than what he would have took if he was still with the Storm playing at a top-tier club.
Pappy's contract just came to an end, didn't it?
No. So he was 27. He left early. Sorry, 26,
okay,
26, but he left early. But it was a mutual agreement. I think that relationship's been strained ever since the last re-signing that they did. It was up in the air. Does it going to extend?
The optics have been weird there.
Yeah, it's been very strange.
Geez, Pappy at the Dogs get you hot and heavy.
Oh, absolutely.
Isn't that
does.
just a perfect fit?
And so if you're the Dogs, you're saying, if he says, I want 800K, you're going, no. Why would you? Unless they're getting a bidding war, but they're probably going to be able to get him for 600K or something. Which is,
well, you just think because clubs won't have that space or something.
Yeah, like who's going to have the space for next year to just lob in an 800K fullback?
If I get Paps for 800, I'd be fine in a way.
I'd be stoked too, but you got to save money where you can, and you got to use in negotiations. Use leverage, obviously ethically where you can.
Yeah.
And what other club right now has got 800K sitting in the cap ready to boom?
It'll probably require flipping someone to another club.
Like Dragons, maybe they got a lot of. But would you want to go there? You got Dragons that have to move
You've got Gutho there too. Do you?
Yeah. Do you risk upsetting a senior player? And I know Pappy's got more legs in his career, but Gutho's their main man. And I thought he was for 3/4 of the year. I thought he was quite great. So yeah, as I said, that's why I got the tinfoil hat on. I don't know. It's all not adding up to me. Very, very strange. Their wiki has no quotes from anyone. It's just got a quote from a rugby union club over in Europe saying this will be the death of club rugby if it gets up.
Speaking of things not great for podcasting, the physical tinfoil hat.
Yeah, true. But they can feel it, though. They can feel the tinniness. They can feel it in my voice. Is there any quotes that you could find, mate?
I just found a thing here. Mike Tyndall, former England...
tinfoil hat.
Mike Tinfoil Hat is the name I've got here.
Yep.
Former rugby international. He married into the royal family, didn't he, Mike Tyndall? And he started... a big rugby union podcast, I think.
Don't know about that.
Yep, so it looks like he's involved with it. Other key figures included Bath executive Stuart Hooper.
Do you have any quotes, though?
Wasserman executive Mark Spores and lawyer John Lofhagen, who helped set up Live Golf. Doesn't have any quotes and stuff.
So, not a single quote?
Nah.
That's craziness.
Yep.
Very strange. Very strange areas. Best conspiracy theory, boys. Keep it. Don't be weird. Don't make it weird. But in the comment section, best conspiracy theory that you've got, don't make it weird. Comment will get deleted if it gets weird.
Yeah, this might get weird.
Anyway.
The statement, that's it.
And that was after the emails had leaked to everyone. That's another thing. Has there been any rugby union websites reporting the email getting leaked to the rugby? It's only league players, managers that get unless it was more than that. Anyway, it's all very strange. All very
ties
strange.
back to Coby Black's early release from the
Bulldogs. That's the conspiracy.
Yeah.
It was all distraction. Ricky Stewart started Rugby 360 because he was going to sign Coby Black. He was going to get it released early. It's been drowned out in the Rugby 360 news. He's going to be at the club next week.
Okay, here we go. Yep, so this is from Fox, but it's R360 board member Mike Tyndall. R360 has always been about supporting long-term growth of the sport we love. Our aim is to create a global showcase league that sits between international yada, yada, yada. So we do have quotes. We found quotes.
Okay, we found quotes. When was that, though?
Oh, that was the statement.
And when was that? That was just last week, correct?
November 29.
You know, so maybe that quote's from before anyway. Not many quotes. If you're a world-spanning franchise that has billions and billions pumped into it, I feel like you'd have a front man or woman promoting it, PRing it. Like, at the moment, they got 3 or 4 dudes just going, and I think it was a woman as well on the board. They got 3 or 4 people that are going to, anyway. Okay, on the next one. That's 25% off, guys. Grumpy Coffee, it's ending soon. Okay, now, in regards to service of the week, well, it's got to be the Raiders recruitment, because it's looking like Coby Black is going to land at the Raiders next year. Ricky Stewart has confirmed that Coby Black is pushing to join the Raiders in 2026. He said, Coby is very keen to join the club in 26, but it's not a decision that comes down to me. I love that he comes out publicly and says, he wants to come here early, break his contract, but it's not my decision. Okay, sure. Listen, to be honest, all jokes aside, I got no issue. I think this is an incredible get from Ricky Stewart, and I've been saying it for a few weeks now. The Raiders recruitment is some of the best I've ever seen in my entire life over the last couple of years. The fact that they are getting the best young talent from big juggernaut clubs is like genuinely mind-blowing. I think this is a great get. Look, as a Broncos fan, yes, it sucks losing a guy like Coby early. However, we would have gotten players early that are rookies before releasing from contracts. So you'd be a hypocrite to sit here and get too upset about it. It is what it is. I think it's a great get for Raiders to get him down as early as possible. I tell you what, if you're Sanders, obviously he's not
Colonel.
owed that jersey. If you're the Colonel, he's not owed that jersey, but you're still sitting there going, oh, geez, this is heating up way quicker than I thought it was going to heat up. I'll go to you, Timmy. Thoughts on the situation, mate?
Yeah. I mean, look, we touched on it a couple of weeks ago, but the early release would be fantastic for the Raiders, especially when you're getting a young half down there where, would you call them the formative years of a young halfback? Maybe a little bit after. But if you're...
Probably the formative years, to be honest. If they don't pick till 28, 18, 19, 20.
So if you're a former half in Ricky Stewart, they've got the coaching staff, they want to mould his game while he's learning the trade.
Yep.
And a year has a big impact on that. I mean, you even look at little things like when COVID happened and there was no lower grades and, the impact that's happened, and there's been some, well-publicised experts in the game who have said the impact that's had on halves coming through, the younger ones. Take that, for example. I know it's only a small, similarity, but for Ricky to get him 1 year early and say, play our style of footy, play how we want you, and don't pick up, potentially habits that suit the Broncos system, it's a big thing. So, for the Rays to get him a year early, to put pressure on Ethan Sanders to say, you boys, give us your best, show us who's the number one. I think it's fantastic for the club.
Yeah, and I think the difference here is if he was a top tier player on 800 grand and he was pushing for a release early, that's where you go, mate, you're getting paid a good wicket. But as a junior that hasn't really debuted yet, it is a little bit different. It is a little bit different. Especially, I'd have to assume that his pay will go up pretty substantially if he leaves early, because Raiders have a lot of room in the cap because it did so well with their salary cap. And also, he signed a big deal with them. He's going to be there for a long time. He's going to be a key player in there. So I'm not too upset about it. And also, he's already signed with the club. Now, if you want to have the argument about it's all too early, I'm happy to have that debate, because I don't know where I land on the fact that the players get a whole year to sign early. I'm not sure. I don't really like it that much. However, I do, from a player bias perspective, I understand the need for time to be able to get everything ready to be able to move down. But Ruth, thoughts on the early release of Coby Black?
Yeah, I think it makes total sense to get him down there ASAP. The fellow that just left Canberra?
Yeah, Manai Fatiri.
Yeah, obviously a guy that was in their top 30 that's made his way down to the Melbourne Storm, so the roster spot's there.
Thoughts on my thoughts on, and I'll get all your thoughts on this, was the fact that if it was a top tier player on 800k demanding an early release and a year early, that's a different conversation to a junior that hasn't played first grade yet. Do you agree with that? Disagree with that?
Yeah, I do agree with it. I obviously hold Coby Black in really high regard.
Yep.
But once again, I think Brisbane have made their decision.
Yeah.
They've got their guy, and I don't disagree with what they've done as far as trying to win now. I get that. But yeah, if he's going to have his future at the Raiders, as you said, I think people really sleep on that whole point about when there was no under-20s and Flegg and SG Ball and all that. It had a huge impact. Sam Walker was just the one that bucked the trend. Everyone else has taken 3 or 4 years to recover from it. I think getting him down there to the Raiders, I think it makes total sense. And if I'm Coby Black, that's where my future's going to be.
I would say as well.
Yesterday.
I will say as well, even though Madge is very similar to Ricky, and I'm assuming in the way they coach, the style of person that he's around is very different as well down in the Raiders. Like, Broncos, they're rock stars, and it doesn't make them bad people, but it's a different style of personality to a Canberra Raiders side. So maybe there's that as well from Ricky Stewart's, like, get him out of the big smoke, get him out of Brisbane, get him out of that. Because that's another thing that you have to think of. If you're just talking about Coby Black's development, is it good for him next year to be in the headlines every time Ben Hunt or Adam Reynolds gets injured and he's not getting a run, or he is getting a run, or Madge is off him? You know what I'm saying? Does he really need that? Like, not really, as a young fella. Hammy, what do you think, mate?
Yeah, concerning signs continue for the Broncos. The rush for the exits, Madge training him too hard. Clearly, he just wants to go and play for Dally M Coach of the Year. Dally M Coach of the Year, Ricky Stewart. Wants to go down and play with him. So, I'll tell you what, though, great get by the Raiders, because they've already got... I've just had a complete blank here. The hooker, CBA.
Paddy.
Owen Paddy. Then you got Coby. Like, moving forward, like, these guys could potentially be kind of the spine for Queensland, and you've got them there at the Raiders, kind of learning under Ricky.
It's incredible. Like, honestly, I can't stress that enough.
Absolutely, the way that he's able to kind of get all these great players down there, and once, and a lot of them, once they get down there, very rarely, really, do they leave early. Like, they kind of want to stay, and they buy into what he's doing. So if they can get the best out of him down there, and guys like Owen Paddy and the Colonel, like, they could be building nicely for the future.
The other one that, obviously he's an out-and-out first grader now, went on the Kangaroo tour, Ethan Strange. Like, I'm talking to some of the Kangaroos boys over there. They're blown away by him. Over there. Like, they're...
Now, I don't know if I should leak this, but apparently, as an emu, Blake Brayley, very impressive. Just quietly. That's what I'm hearing.
Ethan Strange was the one, though, that, to me anyway, that they all were just like... Like, I think there was a bit of a thought that...
Sorry, I'm talking about the piss. Get on the piss.
Oh, right.
That's why I was. That's why. I mean, no one's surprised Blake Brayley training really well, but apparently on the beers,
interesting.
The young man goes all right.
Like him even more.
Yeah, same.
He's got everything, Blake Brayley.
He does.
Hopefully, just blow your cover, bros.
Hasn't missed a game in like 4 years. Looked like he hasn't played one.
Yeah.
He's unreal.
Yeah, apparently, that's all I'll say.
Ethan Strange, like, there was a bit of word around before the Kangaroo Tour that they picked him on the Kangaroo Tour so that in the World Cup next year he couldn't play for England. I think that was blown away when he was on this Kangaroo Tour.
Yeah,
The players were really impressed with him.
Mate, he's such a, I know people hate those cliches of, like, he's such a footy player, but, like, he's like Jackie White.
Yeah.
Like, he's
so similar.
He's a footy player. Just put him on there, get the fucking ball in his hands, let him do his thing. Like, he's not going to be Darren Lockyer at number 6 or... I mean, he's closer to Freddie than Lockyer, but he's probably not even going to be Freddie, but he's going to be a dog there, and he's going to make things happen, So I just love watching him play, and I can't wait to see him develop more. What is he, 20 now?
Young. Yeah.
Like, what is he going to be like when he's 25, 26? It's just crazy. I've already talked about, guys, what this is, but if you get a 2024 CX5 G20 Max, 32,844 drive away, or a 2024 CX3 Pure 27,385 drive away, you go in the draw to be gifted basically an experience of a lifetime. And what it will be, you'll be gifted myself, Alex Glenn, Jarrell Yaoyi. We'll have a corporate box at Suncorp Stadium. You'll be able to watch a Broncos game with us in that box, and Lukey, and potentially other people as well. And I'll be doing a live show in that corporate box at a Broncos game. Anyway, LDC_01. Okay, on to the next topic. Lachlan Ilias. I don't think I was given a fair opportunity to get back into the team after I was dropped. Ilias said on Unscripted, the Joshy Mansell's podcast, great podcast, give it a 5. Quote, I got told I was dropped for my defence. I don't know what was said in the media or why I was dropped. It was about reads in defence, and it was a new defensive system as well. So I was getting used to it, and they said there were a few tries between me and Jaden Sewer. I told the defensive coach and the wrestling guy after I got dropped that I would do more extras and put my best foot forward to try and get picked back into the team. I was doing all that. I went back to Q Cup. I barely missed a tackle for 5 or 6 weeks. I just don't think I got a fair crack. The only dialogue that I got after I got dropped was after we won 10 or 11 games in a row for Cup, and then we played terrible against Newtown. It just wasn't our day, and that was the only time I got feedback about my game, saying that I played poorly. Yeah, look, I to be honest, water's wet, the sky's blue. I think it was pretty clear that he was on the outer there. It does suck to hear that, though. Like, this is a half about to go into his best footy. Really, again, his version. I don't know whether we'll get Flano's version of it, but at least if you believe what he is saying, which I've seen it happen quite a lot, he was on the outer pretty early on there, in my opinion.
Yeah, as I said at the time, I stand by it. I thought when he got dropped the first time, he'd come up with some pretty poor decisions in the few weeks leading up to it that, in the end, I think turned out to be pretty costly for the Dragons season. But I also thought it was pretty evident when he got back to New South Wales Cup, he was doing good things.
Yep.
And if you have a look now, that Dragons team, where did they go all the way to the grand final? They lost to the Warriors in the GF or the prelim final, I think it was. The two halves that were playing down there that won those 11 in a row, like Ilias is somewhere else and Jonah Glover's at the South Sydney Rabbitohs now.
Yeah.
Which...
Not great.
The optics are just fucking dreadful, and you can. It's easy to say put aside, that Kyle is Shane's son, but you can't do it. The context all matters, and I don't know if he's trying to protect Kyle. I think he's doing him no favours whatsoever. I think he's making it worse for him with stuff like this.
Even him coming out and saying Atkinson has the 7 jersey. What?
I thought that was bizarre. Granted, Atkinson came out and said, "I want the jersey, I want it," but
he's more of a 6, clearly more of a 6 than Flanagan.
I agree. I had to look through Atkinson's numbers the other day. I think he.
This is before the news too. He's just going through his numbers.
He played. Yeah, this is just my spare time. I think he played 16 games of first grade last year, one 80-minute game.
Yeah.
And I think 14 of the other 16 was sub 40 minutes. He played New South Wales Cup last year. He played 4 games, 2 games at fullback, 2 games at 5'8". The last time he genuinely played halfback week to week was in Q Cup in 2022.
Jeez.
I don't... Your son's a halfback.
Yeah, it's so
Sign
weird.
him as a hooker. Say whatever the fuck you want. He's a halfback.
Yeah.
Everyone knows he's a halfback. He doesn't have the X factor to be a 5'8". He's
weird.
a halfback.
It's the weirdest. I don't understand it. I just don't get this strange need to put a rookie that's a rookie 6 initially with King Tonga as a 7. Then there's a bit of pressure, not even that much pressure, but, it was a bit of talk in the media like, why is he the 7? And then Flano gets moved to 7. Now he's getting moved out of 7. And it's almost like, I don't know. Just, it doesn't look good. Not good optics.
It's also just like with this team they've got, they've lost Jack Bell and they've lost a lot of experience there. Wouldn't you want the guy that's been there for 2 or 3 years that knows their structures, knows the way they want to play?
And played pretty well.
Apparently Ilias couldn't keep up with.
Yeah.
That Flano, he knows it. Why wouldn't you want him at halfback and just let your star guy come in and just play what's in front of him, which I think is what he does best?
And what's crazy about all this is I actually think Kyle Flanagan had a pretty good season last year.
Kyle Flanagan had a season that lines up exactly to what he is paid.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to compare him to every other halfback in the game. They're all paid probably double his salary.
Yeah.
It's obvious what the Dragons have done. They've built their squad around having Damien Cook, Clint Gutherson, where they've spent their money. The whole comparison of Kyle to other halves and comparing their stats, he's not that guy. He doesn't tell you he's that guy. His salary reflects he's not that guy too.
Yeah, I feel like if Flano said, Kyle's a 7, Atkinson's a 6, there'd be no conversation about that. They'd go, okay, makes sense. Timmy, what do you reckon, mate?
Yeah, it's a really tough one to comment on, to be honest, mate. I'm struggling because I think first and foremost...
Wait, do you want to wear this?
No,
say anything
I don't want it to fall out anywhere near me. Not yet. Not for this. There'll be a time. It depends what side of the argument on, but firstly, I love Lachlan Ilias coming out and speaking what he believes. Talking about NRL players being vanilla and not speaking their mind. He's spoken his mind. I love that. I think it depends what side of the argument you sit on. If you're against the Shane Flanagan regime and saying that it's nepotism and this and that, you'll sit there and say, yep, and this is going to feed that. He wasn't given a proper chance, etc. If you're sitting there and particularly Dragons fans, you believe in Flanagan, you'd be saying, it's sour grapes from Lachie Ilias because he got shifted out.
See, the only thing I'd say against that, sorry to interrupt you, mate, is both halves were moved on, bro.
Yeah.
If it just Lachie got moved on, I go, okay, maybe there's a Lachie situation here. He left the Rabbitohs or whatever. But the other guys at
South Sydney
Rabbitohs now.
Yeah,
and they've got heaps of money in the cap too.
They knew he was going to be good, a young talent. But did the rise of King Tonga, did that impact things a little bit? I'm sure it did somewhat, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Regarding the quotes, I'm not sure.
Just to add context to it as well, the Dragons, for example, they had a really good season in reserve grade. They got 2 players into the team of the year. Cody Ramsey, who's now at the Roosters, and Jonah Glover, who's now at the South Sydney Rabbitohs.
The fact that Glover isn't the Lachie Ilias one, I'll go, you know what? I kind of okay. I'll get on board to a degree, but the Glover one, and hasn't he come out and said something similar as well? I think he's actually come out and said something similar where he didn't feel he was getting an opportunity. Don't quote me on that, guys. We'll confirm it first.
But the other thing with Glover too is in my opinion, it's not like he's moved to a club where he's got heaps more opportunities.
Yeah.
Like, Cody Walker will retire soon, but there's Ashton Ward, there's Jai Gray, they could move Latrell there. Like,
Humphries.
You're probably better off Humphries. You're probably better off being at the Dragons.
Well, that's what I don't get as well. It's like, it's not like they've got these 2, 6, and 7 established. It's forcing these young guns to move on. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like they've got, like, you know, Mitchell Moses and Dylan Brown situation where it's like, man, it's going to be pretty tough to get into that. Or, you know, so I guess I want to be clear too. I don't think this reflects how good their season was, the Dragons, but there's no shying away from the fact they finished third last.
Yeah, third last. Yeah,
they finished third last. Like, yes. Again, I want to be clear. I still think they had a good year. It just bombed out towards the end, but that is a fact.
Yeah,
that's the fact. It's hard to get away from that.
There's obviously context around that.
For sure.
The Dragons fans will get upset if we don't, the injuries, like their forward pack was absolutely derailed.
With ya.
But the other thing that is worth noting is that, hot tip, when an NRL side is depleted by injury, that kind of affects the New South Wales Cup team too. And those boys did really well down there.
Yeah. Okay, this is from Glover. Okay, so the quote is, "It was a good year in Cup at the Dragons. I really enjoyed my time, but I felt like I was never going to make NRL at the Dragons, so I moved to the Rabbitohs. It was hard to get a look in. I felt like I played pretty well, but I just didn't get the opportunity to play." Like, that's both halves saying that. That's rough.
Yep.
Like, and they made the grand final, correct?
Yeah, grand final or prelim, yeah.
So, like, it's not like they were playing busted down there. And look, I will say as well, the tough thing, and I know the Dragons are trying to recruit a 7, but let's say you're a superstar right now and the Dragons are offering you a bit more than other clubs because they're trying to get you to the club. You know, it's when you look at the halves at the moment, like Atkinson, he may come out and play really well, but right now, is it that appealing for a young gun to go to that club? You know, I just don't, you know, you might get paid overs and that's good and get there, but to my understanding, they're really struggling to land a big fish and they've got a lot of cash to do it. That's a concern as well.
Yeah, and they've also got a coach who's been around the league. He's been in a few spots. Like, he's just come from the Manly Seagulls, who aren't in a great spot either. Like, he hasn't really lured people over from there too. Like, it's a weird spot.
Very weird spot, because if you actually watched them last year, they fought above their weight. They were so gritty, so tough. Few injuries don't smash them towards the end and whatever, all that stuff. You know, they're fighting for the 8. I mean, I think around 15 or whatever, they were like fighting for the 8, and it just all fell apart after that. So yeah, I don't think the 15th reflects how good their season was. I actually think there's a lot to like. I think they've got, outside of the Warriors, you could argue they've got the best young forward pack in the competition coming through. I just think this 7 halves question, unless Atkinson Flanagan solves it in the first 10 rounds, I think it's going to be huge concerns next year for them.
It's December 1 and we're talking about it.
Yeah. And to be honest, we were talking about it last year.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're crazy just going, they're just bringing this up because we didn't have a good year. No, we spoke about it last year as well, the fact that in the halves it's not looking great for him at the moment. So anyway, going to be, look, if there's one guy that loves to have his back against the wall, though, it's Flano. He loves his shit.
Yeah.
He'll be here and he would have seen this. He would have seen the chat from Glover. He'll have the guys backs against the wall. And for 75% of the season, they were one of the most, outside of the Rabbitohs, I thought they were one of the most grittiest sides in the competition. I really did. Yeah. It's just that last back bit that just smashed all the good work that they did.
They beat the Storm, Broncos, and Raiders.
Craziness.
But then they also got 50 put on them a few times by like the Dolphins and stuff. So
in South, when they were all injured and that, they got smacked by them towards the end of the year. So I guess we'll see. Okay, Perth Bears. Perth Bears have reportedly signed Sexton for 27-28. That all makes sense. Now it's all starting to add together. Like when we were like, why is no other NRL club signing a guy like Toby Sexton? He's only going over for 2 years or whatever with Catalan. That makes sense. I don't mind that. They would have got him for a good price. Wishart also reporting up way from a large offer from Perth. I mean, I don't mind him at 6, Sexton at 7. When you consider their options right now, it's not a bad get in my opinion. They've also reportedly announced New Balance as their sponsor, which, funnily enough, like I know obviously the players are the most important, but that's like almost one of the biggest parts of this whole situation. As a new club, to have a sponsor like New Balance doing the clothes and that's a big deal. It's a big deal. Yeah. And it helps move merch, which helps get the brand out there. I do think as well, their Instagram writing, I really like their font. It's nice. Just sort of say that.
The little things, eh?
It's all the little things, man.
Yeah.
I like that halves pairing if that's what they run with. It might not be a superstar halves pairing, but like they're two guys that'll get a job done. The two guys
NRL
I'm interested
level
to watch. Yeah.
That's the one big concern I have for them is like they're not actually going to be running out with 13 NRL players. They're going to be running out with 4 or 5, and then the rest are going to be New South Wales Cup level. That's my concern.
Yeah, they'll do a job,
Yep.
Wishart and Sexton, if they were their starting halves. I think naturally they're going to be in the market for a more marquee number 7, in which case, if they could land that alongside Tyron Wishart, you've got a gun pairing with some really good depth in Toby Sexton. So if they jag those two in the marquee 7, perfect starting point.
And Jolliffe, Burns, Chester, and Hughes all on the market. What do you reckon, Hammy? What do you think about the Bears, mate?
Yeah, I mean, Sexton's a pretty good get for him. The other one, I suppose, is going to keep getting spoken about is Matt Burton as well. There's been a bit of chat with him going over to the Bears also, but you need a good 7, don't you? That you can kind of really build around. And I think Sexton, he showed what he can do with the Dogs. Got a bit hard done, very hardly done by. So they're off to a good start. I think that's a really solid option, really solid number 7.
Doggies. How are we feeling about the Doggies at the moment? I think they're going to take one step back to take 2 steps forwards next year. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I'm very interested to see what they do with their halves and when Woods comes in and how they work out that balance. Personally, I'd be ripping the Band-Aid off in Vegas. I'd be going Woods probably at 7, Galvin at 6, and then I'd be having Burton in the centres. Yeah, is what I'd be doing.
And then what, Burton doesn't re-sign as he can if he wants to, obviously, but they're not going to spend $1 million on 2 centres.
Yeah, I don't think Burton's going to be there in the future.
Yeah, I'm with
I
you.
think the writing's not on the wall. That's just how I see it playing out, and I think that unfortunately you've got to make tough decisions somewhere. They've got Woods and they've got Galvin there who they can be your halves for the next 10, 12 years.
Yeah.
You play it, right? So I think that's the avenue to go. I feel bad for Matt Burton, but, I feel bad for Reid Marnie too.
Yeah. I will say, the Marnie one, I didn't like how it happened, but I kind of get it to a degree. I'm still interested to see how Haywood goes there if he is the 9. I reckon as soon as they signed Lockie Galvin, I think that was probably writing on the wall for Burton. Now, it didn't come across that way. Oh, yeah, he can play 7. Now they come out and say, no, he's not a 7, he's a 6. Now, the reports have come out, it's like, no, we love Burton or whatever, but it's like, yeah, but Burton's not going to get paid $600,000-700K to be a centre. He's going to get paid $1 million to be a 6. Although Lockie Galvin's got a big future, I don't know if people are really respecting the risk they're taking by moving on a guy like Burton and being so sure that just Galvin's going to be the guy. He could be, definitely has a potential, but Burton's he's proven himself in Origin before. Do
you think this year, if Canterbury do well, which I think they will, if they're a top 4 team once again, do you think they can keep Burton there as a centre? Is there an option there?
I don't reckon.
Do you reckon he will chase to be a 6?
Well, he clearly wants to be a 6. Dally M6, obviously centre at the Penrith Panthers, and also I just think there are a lot of clubs that go, yeah, we'll pay $1 million for him to be a 6. Whereas I don't think he's going to get.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Gus Gould is all about these 5-year plans and he'd value each position accordingly. And I just don't think he would be willing to pay Burton overs to play centre. I think he knows exactly what's going on with the signing of Galvin. They love Mitch Woods there. As I said, with his 5-year plans, Gus is going, sweet, we'll win a comp in. It might be 2029. It doesn't have to happen overnight. And Birdo's the one that I just think he has to get shafted. I can't see Gus and Seraldo wanting to pay him $700 plus to play centre when, to your point, Kempy, there'll be a club out there that will give him $900 plus to pay for that.
Yeah, and also I think that they knew this quite a while ago. I don't think this is I know that the public-facing image is Burton's a part of our plans. I think that they knew this a while ago. I think that they looked at Burton and they looked at Galvin and Mitch Wood and over the last 3 or 4 years and said, do we want to pay a guy $1 million to play 6 when we need to spend that money elsewhere or whatever? And also Burton has had some good years at the Dogs, but he's also had some quiet years as well. I felt like last year was pretty good, but he's had Lockie Galvin's first year at the Tigers was unbelievable. I'm trying to think. At 6, has Burton had an equivalent year? At 6, obviously at 7, he definitely has.
Yeah, probably not.
So I actually think the Dogs have had this in the bank ever since that. I think they were always looking at a younger halves pairing with Mitch Wood, I reckon.
Would you play Woods in Vegas?
I'd go straight into it. Just rip the Band-Aid off. Because I don't think they'll make the top 4 this year. I think they'll scrape into the 8. I think that in no planet, and we've said this I think we've all agreed on this, Galvin is not a 7, has never been a 7. I don't know why. I know why that narrative got pushed hard, but it just doesn't make any sense to me that he'd be a 7. I'll be ripping the Band-Aid off internally, not to the players or anything like that. And I know Seraldo, he's an ultimate winner, so in his head he'd be saying top 4. But I just think that spine, can they finish top 4, especially with so many other clubs getting better as well? coming forward. So I think that internally, if you were like in their hearts of hearts, do they see this as a premiership threat year? I don't think they do right now.
Would you start Woods in Vegas?
Yeah, provided they think he's NRL already and they're not throwing him early, then yes, I would.
It's interesting. Like I think it was in their when they came back, or all their fitness tests. Like Galvin broke, I think it was their Bronco record.
By, fit as anything.
By I think it was like 8 to 10 seconds or something crazy. And I don't think Woods was too far behind him. So
they're building the club around him, and I just think that
I agree.
Yeah,
and I think again, Say's ready to go round one, which on all wraps he probably is. Birdo and Critter centres. Sherry plays on one wing. Yeah. And
then probably Kiraz on the other
Kiraz on the other
which is like, that's a premiership level outside back.
And then if Mitch Woods can hit the hype early and play some good footy, it's a serious team.
And then Leo Thompson comes in and plays really well.
If they could somehow squeeze Ryan Pappenhausen in at fullback there, Connor Tracy like a 14 off the bench sort of thing, like far out, that's a good looking squad.
Yeah, I just think that like, for them to be a premiership threat this year, they are banking on Woods essentially being unbelievable. And I just don't think that's it. From me, it's too much pressure on the kid. Does he have the talent to do that? Probably. But I just give him a year or two to get into that headspace of
yes, for sure.
If that's what your side kind of looks like all of a sudden, like the guys that aren't making that team, like your Marcelo Montoya, like what an unreal player to have if we have an injury in our backline.
It's like a premiership level backline. Like you look at the Broncos and some of the players that were missing out there, or you look at the Tommy Jenkins at the Panthers. You know what I'm saying? Like Leo Thompson, if he hits his strap. So like there is a world where they do finish in the top 4. Mitch Woods has killed it. Garvin's gone to another level. But I just think right now, if I had to guess, I've got them probably 6th, 7th or 8th right now.
Yeah, I've sort of got them 4, 5, 6 at the moment.
What do you reckon, Hammy?
Yeah, they probably do have to rip the band off, because the alternative is you just keep playing Galvin at 7.
Waste of time.
And you keep playing Burton at 6. And neither of those two are probably going to be playing in that position.
Yep. You're not going to win a comp like that either.
No. Yeah, I think, it feels like Woods has been making all the right kind of noises, playing well in the...
18th man as well last year.
Yeah, they had him around the group quite a bit, didn't they? So, I would imagine they would go that way. It would depend how their pre-season, whatever unfolds. But, they've already kind of moved a lot of stuff back into last year. Why would you continue the disruption to bleed into this year? Just get on with it.
That's a good point, eh? Like, why... You've already you disrupted your whole season last year.
Yeah.
Don't do it again this year.
Yep.
Get to round 10 and go, Burton thing, eh?
I'll tell you the other thing that hasn't really been spoken about with Canterbury this year is they go to Vegas round 1, right? Which is round 0, which means round 1 they won't play. Round 2, they've got to bye. So they actually play a game, then they've essentially got 3 weeks until their next
See, that's
game.
where I could see them not playing Mitch Woods and almost going, like, let's not put him under the fucking spotlight of the Vegas and just make our round 1 after. That's a potential.
See, I was looking at it as the inverse.
Opposite, give him
you
time.
put him out there and then you've got 3 weeks to prepare him, where it won't be 3 weeks of talking about him really. So there'll be fucking 15 other storylines that'll dominate. So I was thinking that would lean towards me going, we will put him out.
Yeah, okay. Fair. I just can't wait. I cannot wait.
I think as well, like that week when you're in Vegas, you guys have all been there, like, I think obviously you're on the world stage and stuff, but you can sort of hide you guys there a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's obviously, it's not as big as that.
It's not as big. They're not,
Okay, some other news. Richo has revealed that they're in the process of re-signing Dream Bula. He wants to be here. Unlike Galvin, you never count your chickens before they hatch, but I'm pretty confident we will get it done.
Nice little parting shot at Galvin there as well from Richo.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Mark Prez, let's go.
See him playing basketball? I know he's a basketball player.
Richo was playing basketball?
Yeah, Richo. Did the crocodile roll. He was crocodile rolling people. Dream Bula playing basketball. I know he's a basketball player and Greg Inglis convinced him to play, but still, just seeing him play other sport, he's like, geez, that's talent. That's talent. Yep. Look, I think this is good for the Tigers. Like, as long as they don't sign overs, I think it's good.
Yep, good. Great player. Real, first year exceptional, second year a little bit quiet to start with, but found his form towards the end of the year again. So if they can just keep him happy, keep him around, they're kind of starting to build a squad of people who actually want to be there now. They're not just,
throwing money willy-nilly.
Yeah, that's right. There's not guys there that are on big bucks that are kind of towards the end. Like, there's something building there. So hopefully we can keep him there, keep him happy.
Cooper
confident on this one?
On Bula?
Yeah.
The language in the last probably 2 weeks, I'm liking. And I'm liking, like, not as much noise out of his side and stuff as well.
Like, before that, I thought the optics
I thought it was gone.
Yeah, I thought it was
Oh, it's gone, bro. Okay, Cooper Bai, a young absolute gun, killed it in the under-19s Queensland side last year.
Bai of the year.
This year, sorry. Do you reckon Dan Ganane will be like, Cooper Bai? Or good?
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay, sweet. Good advice.
Go fuck myself.
Okay,
Might get him on the buy round as well.
Cooper Bai is reportedly set to meet with Roosters and Storm this week. Scary. I don't know whether that's like the throwaway. I mean, the fact that he's going to meet with them makes it real. That's very scary for the Titans because watching this guy play, even in his debut, wow. Good player.
He's the real deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be a very good player. Yeah, I really do hope that, and I have my concerns about whether Tino's going to be there, Cooper Bai's and I hope that the Titans players give Josh Hannay an opportunity to just show what he can do.
Well, he said he's expected to give Titans first crack, but geez, it scares me when you say you're meeting with the Roosters.
I've heard he's going to stay, but
say it after the
imagine
meeting.
what that meeting is like down at Bondi. Yeah.
Like, imagine him at the Melbourne Storm as well. Like,
Yes.
they need.
Well, I think Melbourne's more of a worry than the Roosters personally because they're just with Eli Katoa gone now for a year, and I think that'd be an unreal get for Melbourne. But I do hope he stays at the Titans.
Timmy?
Yeah, nothing more to add, boys. I think terrified about it. I just hope he stays at the Titans as well, and I've nothing to add.
Sweet. I think that's us done and dusted. Think anything else? Anything else, boys?
No, I think so.
Okay, Grumpy Sale, it's still going. It's going to end soon. 25% off 1 kilo bags. And we've got packages with the pods. Also, make sure if you've got internet, use Lontel, lontel.net.au/bloke. 7-day free trial, then it's $25 credit. Trust me, once you try it, you will not be disappointed. And also a huge sale with Aspley Mazda, the X that you actually want. Currently, they are basically getting rid of demo models, so you don't have to pay the premium of a new car, but it's like, under 20,000 K is done. So you got good prices, and each one that gets purchased, you have the chance to be gifted a experience of a lifetime. Myself, Alex Gandraliayi, will be watching footy in a corporate box in Suncorp. You'll get to come along with us.
Yeah, Kempy, 2 weeks, I should say, till the Big Bash kicks off. If you are a Supercoach player, SC Playbook, Big Bash, firing away, podcast, articles on site, ramped up, social media, etc. SC Playbook Cricket.
Get around it.
Get amongst it.
Get around it. All right. I was going to delay this longer, so Matty nearly explodes from it all building up. But as usual, we'll all go fuck ourselves. Thank you.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.